afternoon, football fans, and welcome to day number 4 of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, right here on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. AFC Week has reached its conclusion, and we are ready to talk all about the AFC North. That's right, Chubb. As I always say every year, and for the years that I've been doing this darn show, you gotta play defense on offense in order to win in the AFC North, because it is that nasty, it is that hard-hitting, and these teams truly can't stand each other. The respect is there, but ladies and gentlemen, it is a nasty rivalry between all 4 of these teams, including their fans and on the field. This is going to be a special season for all these teams because there's so much going into this. The Ravens have put together a roster that is absolutely incredible. If they can stay healthy, this Ravens team has potential to get all the way to the bowl. This is no joke. Take a look at that roster. This team is very strong. Also, those Bengals, they were so close last year, yet so far. They are going to be on a revenge tour, and I'll tell you, this team is also another team that can get to that bowl and hoist that Lombardi if they can stay healthy. The Steelers, talk about a team who didn't even have their leader at quarterback last year and still went 9-8. Yeah, they got even better, drafting a big offensive tackle that's going to make a huge difference, and oh yeah, a legacy in Joey Porter Jr. And how about them Browns? This team, it seems that they can't get right through the ages, but did they finally get it right this year? A full season with Deshaun Watson behind center? Oh my goodness, this is going to be a great division this year, and I hope you're ready to rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in tight. The conclusion of AFC Week is here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, and I'm here to take you on a ride. Let's do this, y'all! Welcome, football fans. Well, here we are, y'all. This is it. We have reached the conclusion of AFC Week. So many teams to get through today. Well, I mean, there's only 4, but it feels like I just kind of did the entire AFC this past week, so, But there's so much to get through today because it's kind of funny. With the weird order that I go through every year, which is always AFC North, West, East, and South, and then I just kind of, of course I do the Super Bowl champions. That's the winning conference is what goes first in week number 1 for for 8 divisions in 8 days. Then we start with the conference that won it all. Well, isn't it crazy that we started off with the AFC West and then just through my order that I like to stick with, West, East, South, and then North, because how it ended up this year. We end up with probably the most exciting division in the entire AFC. Now, why do I say that? Why isn't the AFC West exciting? It is, but let's just be real. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and, they're going to take a little bit of the excitement out of it. They're just damn good, and you need to give them that respect because they just hoisted a Lombardi. So, it's kind of okay to give them that, Then, and then it's competition, but I think it's the Chiefs' division to lose for sure. Then we get into the East, and it's gonna be exciting. But once again, you guys heard my Super Bowl pick this year, and once again, it's just a pick. It's just this is all of this is just what we think, what we feel, speculation, talks, whatever we may think. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's all talk until they get on the field. But this year, yes, I'm taking those Bills. I think they got it. Regardless, though, the Bills, I think, are going to run away with the AFC East. Maybe not run away with it, but I think they'll win it. Then we got a little bit of a dogfight in the South. Okay, we talked about that yesterday. Okay, it's going to be fun. It'll be cool. But I really think it's going to be a 2-horse race really at the end of the day. And Titans and Jags. Okay, should be exciting. But this, and don't get me wrong, okay? I get it. Rookie quarterbacks. I get it. New regime. We get those things in Houston and Indianapolis. But the AFC North is special because, the Browns just signed their quarterback, last year, 2 years ago, or whatever it was, with Deshaun Watson, but because of the suspensions and everything, he didn't even get a chance to really get acclimated with this team. Didn't get a chance to be that Deshaun Watson that we know he was in Houston. How are those Browns really going to look? They got a pretty solid team. If they got the right guy behind center, well, that can be pretty game changing for this team. Okay, then we talk about the Steelers. This team, you guys, was 9-8 last year, and they didn't even have Big Ben was gone. Okay, they didn't have this stud quarterback back there. They still had a team who was hungry, but they didn't have that dude. This year, they got even better, I think, in the offseason. Really good draft. And now, another year, who's going to start at quarterback? But at the end of the day, this defense is pretty solid. So they have a chance. Everyone has a chance, I get it. But this is interesting. What will they look like? The Ravens are out of their mind. They had just an incredible draft. Lamar is there now. There's no more questions, no more of that nonsense. This is going to be a very good Ravens team, and they're going to give everybody hell who they face. Then there was the Bengals. The Bengals, once again, they're like the Chiefs. You got to give them their credit, their respect. They won their division last year, and they battled the Chiefs to the bitter end in what was a very close loss. You know what, you guys? The Bengals, there's so much reason to believe the Bengals could hoist the Lombardi this year. For those of you who are picking the Bengals, I am mad at you. I think that's a great pick because they really do have a solid, actual chance. We can say anybody else, a chance. But the Bengals really do have a chance to be a Super Bowl winning team this year. Look at them. What weaknesses do they really have? That is one strong football team. So that's what I'm saying. This division is going to be one to watch because they're going to go at it. And when they play each other, oh my gosh, these are going to be some good games. So it's exciting. Today, we got 4 new voices. Well, actually 3 familiar and 1 newcomer. Pretty cool because Jen actually just became a part of us, so I'm going to give her an applause. Jen B, y'all. She is the host of our brand new Cleveland sports show. Really cool show. The Show of the Land. That's, I believe, starting next week or probably the week after, but she'll be on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Really cool stuff right there, and I'm excited, with that, and she's excited for her Browns as well. We'll be talking to her, but also today we are going to welcome back Mr. Ralph. He is awesome, man. Ralph Glazer, he's such a great guy. Good old Ralph Khalees, man. He is one awesome dude, and we get to talk to him momentarily about his Steelers. Then we get to speak to Mr. B-Mo Flocka about his Ravens. Oh, that's a fun interview. Then, of course, we talk to Jen B about her Browns, and we close out AFC Week and AFC North Day with our boy Christopher Lehman of the Extra Mile, our auto sports show here on IE Sports Radio. Really great guy, and I just honestly don't think I have ever met a bigger Bengals fan in my entire life. I've met some, don't get me wrong, I've met a good amount, but this guy, his fandom comes second to none, man. So all of them are just diehards, and I am so excited to bring them out on this show and let them do their thing. So without further ado, you guys, that's a little bit of a build-up introduction into this show. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you head on over to 3 and Out on our Twitter account, or X now, I guess. Head on over to @3and Out. Once again, all spelled out at 3 and Out. Scroll down a little bit because it's going to be a little bit down there. My apologies, but there is the voting poll for today. Cast your vote for who you think is going to win the AFC North this year. A little sneak peek here while we have a couple hours to go in this voting poll. Right now, it is, I can pin it I'll do that right now. I will pin it to the top. Therefore, it'll be easy for everybody to get. But right now, let's take a quick look at this thing and see who is currently leading. So, okay, here we go. So, currently right now, we have 42% of you are taking the Cincinnati Bengals, which is, expected, I could say, or not surprising. 33% of you are actually taking the Baltimore Ravens. That's crazy, right? I mean, that's how good they really are, though. A lot of you really think this team has a real chance of doing it. Then we have 14% of you taking the Pittsburgh Steelers and 11% of you taking the Cleveland Browns. So, yeah, if you are listening to the show, head on over to the voting poll and let us know what you think. Cast your vote and tune into the show and enjoy. So, all right, you guys. Well, with that said, that's going to do it for me for a little bit. When we come back after this break, well, we're going to get things going, starting off with our guy, man, Mr. Ralph. He is such a cool guy. I mean, seriously, Ralph Calise is one cool dude. And I hope you enjoy what he has to say. He's just a diehard through and through. He will be at Steelers camp next week, and it's going to be awesome. So anyway, guys, with that said, you were listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. The conclusion of AFC Week, AFC North Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back talking Here We Go Steelers after this.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Tarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Welcome back, football fans. Here we are, day number 4 of AFC week. Man, the good times just keep rolling, don't they? We got through the AFC West, then it was the AFC East, then the AFC South, and today, well, the AFC North. We just had our introduction, and we're going to go ahead and jump right on into our 4 interviews. We got 4 awesome people, and here to start us out, I mean, I had to start things out with a huge bang because the other 3 are awesome. So glad I could have them here on the show, but this guy right here, just a little something extra because he is a diehard Steelers fan by way of New York. That's right, he's not even in Pittsburgh, he's in New York, and the cool part about it is his fandom has no borders, no boundaries, because this man is going to head on over to camp coming up this coming Tuesday. So that to me is awesome. Whenever you can say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and vacation from work. I'm going to take some time away. I'm going to camp with my team. That says so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we had him last year for his first time. And I'm so glad that he was able to make some time for us here. He's a busy man, but I'm so glad he was able to come back here today, this year, for this interview today, here on the conclusion of AFC week for the AFC North. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming none other than Ralph Calise. What's going on, Ralph? How you doing today, man?
Hey, Larry, you the man. How's it going, buddy? Been waiting a year for this, buddy.
Right? No, it's true, man. I know. I'm so glad.
The AFC North, the best division in football, buddy.
Hey, man.
Hopefully you have a great time with the AFC North.
Oh,
we are the best division in football.
It's a ball. It's a ball. Dude, I love the personalities, man. You guys go right with the teams. I mean, those, like as I always say, you got to play defense on offense in order to win in the AFC North because of how hard-hitting it is. And it's one of my favorite divisions, and I guess, I'm telling you, I don't care. Even as a Raider fan, I don't care. I watch all football, but you guys, man, there's a little something extra when you watch AFC North football.
Nothing like it. Nothing like a Sunday to come up where you see Baltimore, Cincinnati, or Cleveland on the schedule, man. You're pumped up as soon as you're having your coffee in the morning. One other thing you mentioned about me going to camp, I'm leaving New York Tuesday to go to Latrobe, where the Steelers have their training camp. They just reported yesterday. And man, I tell you, I'm just saying this for the Steelers, but if you can, and you're a diehard football fan like me, and you can get to your training camp for your team that you like and you support, I'm telling you, it's going to be an experience because I talk to a lot of people that go to camps, for other teams, and there's just nothing like it. It's just a different breed.
That is so cool, Ralph. And I'm excited for you, man. I look forward to seeing your Twitter. I'm excited. I'm going to see some pictures up there. I'm excited to see what you got going, man. These guys.
I'll send you stuff. No problem.
Oh, I would love to see that, man. Because, you guys, once again, the Steelers, a proud organization. This team, man, it's been, well, let's just get to it because it's been crazy. It's been crazy, Ralph. Like, you guys, of course, no more Big Ben. We talked to you last year. It was your first year without Big Ben. And, well, It was.
I'm tearing up, Larry. I'm tearing up.
Hey, it's what
you know what he meant to me.
Oh, I do. And the crazy part, Ralph, the craziest part about it is you told us exactly what this team would be. Like, it's crazy. If we go back and listen to that recording from last year on the same exact show, you let us know that this team was gonna, it's a little leaderless at the moment, and it's not gonna be what it was with Big Ben. You said it's not going to, you guys aren't going to be terrible, but you're also not going to be as best as you should be, especially with your first year without him and trying to find a replacement. So you guys will finish 9-8. And, man, I'll tell you, for not having Big Ben out there, for not having, everything together, I feel like when you first come back without your veteran quarterback and you're trying out a youngster and everything, 9-8's pretty damn good. So you finish at 9-8, 3-3. in the division. And I mean, kind of crazy. Even 9-8 and 3-3 was still third place. Goes to show you how good this division really is, man. The Bengals, of course, finishing first, Ravens, then you guys, then the Browns. And it was a season, man. It really was, Ralph. So let's go ahead and recap this thing real quick. You start off with a victory, overtime victory over Cincinnati. That was a pretty cool game to start the season off. And then things went south real fast, man. You guys would take a bump from New England, Cleveland, the Jets, and Buffalo. But then, a little bit of redemption. Okay. Try to get things back on the right track. It's a victory over Tampa Bay. All right, hey, they're still a feisty team. But hey, you still got this team. You still got them under your thumb this year. Cool. Okay. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's supposed to spark a winning streak, right? No.
Nope. No.
You guys would drop 2 straight to Miami and Philly, the other team in Pennsylvania. And, a bye week hopefully would fix it all. Well, it did for one game, coming back versus New Orleans with a victory.
2-7 going into the bye week.
That's just a tough go, man. You come back, you get a victory over the Saints. And then
I'm sorry, 2-6.
Oh man, that's just crazy to think, right? But a victory over the Saints, then a loss to Cincinnati again. So really, another tough go. Well, you guys beat them the first game. The second game wouldn't happen. It was a 7-point game, very tough there. But okay, now it's redemption time, right? Well, kind of. Again, you took out the Colts, you took out the Falcons. And then you guys have probably what was one of my favorite games of the year because this game was so damn hard hitting. The 11th of December, Steelers and Ravens, man. I mean, you're in for a treat every time. This was just a fun game. Lots and lots of battle in the whole game. Low scoring defensive game. And unfortunately, you guys have come up just short, 16-14. However,
that was a tough one.
It was a tough game, but you guys would come off of that and go four in a row to end off the season. Unfortunately, not making the playoffs. It was in a situation where things had to happen for you guys. Unfortunately, it didn't, but you end up with victories over Carolina.
Jets had to kick a damn field goal. They couldn't do it.
Exactly. That's exactly where we were headed. That's all it was.
Needed.
I mean, you get a victory over Carolina, Vegas, Baltimore, and Cleveland to end the year. You came back to beat the Ravens a couple weeks later. But it's true, man. It all came down to a kick. It came down to one kick. Ralph, tell us all about last season. Give us every raw emotion from last year for you as a Steelers fan.
Oh, boy, Larry. Here we go. This is going to be good. All right. So, as you mentioned at the beginning, you did comment on me on saying that what I said last year was pretty much well said. About a month ago, my son came up to me and he goes, Dad, I listen. He's a big time Steeler fan too. I groomed him to be that way. He came up to me and he said, Dad, I listened to that podcast last year with Larry B. He goes, you weren't far off on a lot of things. So it's funny that you mentioned that at the beginning. So I had told him yesterday he actually just moved out with his girlfriend. They don't live far now, but he moved away. And miss him already. And I told him about the podcast coming up, and I gotta let him know how it goes and send him the link once we get done here. All right, here we go. Here's my thing with the schedule. All right, like you said, Cincinnati, we won that game in overtime. This is the second time in 2 years we've started on the road versus a predicted Super Bowl team, and we beat them in their house. And we lost T.J. Watt for almost, I want to say, maybe half the game. And we won in overtime. And I don't know, Minka Fitzpatrick was on another world that day. Blocking kicks, interceptions. It was unbelievable. So we were all pumped up. Then, oh my God, Larry, like you said, we plummeted. New England at home, Cleveland on the road, the Jets at home. My son went to that game. That was when Pickett took over for Trubisky. We actually should have won. And I don't know how, but that quarterback on the Jets led them on a game-winning drive to beat us. And look where that guy is now, the quarterback for the Jets, that rookie. I think it's Zach Wilson. Is that his name?
Yep, Zach Wilson, and now
Zach
Aaron
Wilson,
Rodgers
yeah.
took over now, but
Yeah, now it's all right. But that's the guy that beat us on the final drive. I couldn't believe it.
mm-hmm.
Buffalo blew us out. I guess that was a makeup for the year before. We beat them at home. Tampa Bay, like you said, was a nice win. We beat Tom Brady. I actually think that was Kenny Pickett's first win. But he didn't finish the game because he got hurt like in the last quarter. And Mitch Trubisky came in and he really killed the clock for us just to win the game. It was a little surprising. Then we went to Miami, and Pickett had a really good game. He made a couple of bad decisions, but, you got to expect that with a rookie quarterback. We could have pulled it out at the end, but Miami beat us, but it was close. Philly blew us out. And then, like we said, the bye week game, we were 2-6. So I'm like 2-6, rookie quarterback. I have no idea where this is going to go. During the bye week, things came out about Mike Tomlin. That's it. There goes his career winning record. As far as a coach, not having a losing record, there's no way it's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. And here we go. We start out with the Saints at home. We win. Cincinnati came in. It was a tough-fought game, but it was at home, and we lost. Now, what this is where the schedule really turned because Pickett started winning on the road at Indy, at Atlanta. All right, we came home and we lost to Baltimore. You said it was a very tough-fought game. Could have went either way. But then again, on the road at Carolina, a win. Came back Christmas Eve versus, I believe, your beloved Raiders, Larry.
Oh, I remember that game.
What a game. My favorite game. Not just because we beat the Raiders, but it was my favorite game of the year. That was an amazing pass he threw out. It was wide open, but it was a great game-winning drive. Then the Baltimore game. Oh, my God. That was insane. How nobody was giving him a chance at the end, and he drove him down. It was like watching Ben again. I mean, I don't want to put him in Ben Roethlisberger styles because you know what Ben means to me, but yeah, he brought them back. He threw the TD pass to Najee. They won the game. And then you just knew they were going to win at home against Cleveland because we were on a roll. And I just wish the Jets could have kicked a field goal that Sunday. And I would have loved to have been in the first round of the playoffs because I think we would have beat whoever we played. Because that was the best ball of the year. The best ball we played at the year started really at the end of at the first game at Indy on the road. I don't know, Kenny Pickett, man, he just found it. I was a little skeptical at the start, but like I said, my son, he coaches me a long time. So he's like, Dad, don't worry. And he was right.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, your boy is very, very, very correct, man, because you called it. I'm telling you, when I started thinking back to the Steelers season, I think out of everybody last year, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of people who were pretty close, right. Ralph.
Right.
But man, I just it's scary close when you listen to you because you like hit it on the head. Like I think you even said it could be like an 8 or 9 or a 9 and 8, and I mean. when you look back
my
to that,
prediction. Yeah, that was my prediction, 9 and 8.
It was crazy, and I was like, I can't believe this. Like you called this. Like you actually called the season. You said you were gonna take your hits. You said you were gonna get some wins. You said you probably weren't gonna be, a first overall seed. You probably weren't gonna win the North. You're gonna find a way, and you said it was gonna be real close to either get into the playoffs or miss the playoffs. And man, when you look back at that interview, it's almost exactly as it was.
Right.
Which is crazy, but
yeah, I know. Well, I didn't play Lotto and win, so.
Well, you definitely know your team, Ralph. So let's move on in, man. Let's move on over to the off season. Of course, that season is behind us. We've closed the door on it, but man, this off season was really something. You guys would in free agency, then we'll get to the draft, but in free agency, man, you guys would Allen Robinson would pick him up from the Rams. You guys would pick up Isaac. Oh, yeah, but pretty solid player there. Isaac Samalu, another big, strong dude. Yes. He's just moving west pretty much from the Eagles to the Steelers in Pittsburgh. You guys would lose Devin Bush to the Seahawks. You guys would also lose Cameron Sutton to the Lions. Marcus Golden is actually making his way over from the Cardinals. I mean, there is a lot of moving pieces. Ahkello Witherspoon, I think, is huge from the Rams. There's a lot of moving pieces here. So let us know. Talk to us and tell. I didn't name all of them, of course. There's lots more. And if you want to get into them, you can. But, Ralph, the floor is yours, man. Talk all about your biggest pickups and departures in free agency for the Steelers this year.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying I think this is now where we transition from Kevin Colbert. Remember the GM, Kevin Colbert? He left. Right. I think he retired last year. This is the transition to Omar Khan, the new GM. And Larry, as a Steeler fan, in past years, you don't see stuff. You never saw stuff like this with signings and trades. I mean, the biggest trade I can tell you that the Steelers ever made was Jerome Bettis. We've never traded, and we've rarely picked up any like high price, high talented people like we did this year with Omar Khan. And it all started off, like you said, we signed we signed the kid Isaac. I don't know how to say his name. Samalo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we signed him, and we signed Nate Herbig from the Eagles. That was two parts of their offensive line, which was amazing because that was like one of our bad points of the year was the offensive line for protection. But the day we lost Cameron Sutton, which a lot of Steeler fans couldn't believe, because we thought they would sign him, and he wasn't a high price guy to sign. He went to the Lions, and we're all scratching our heads, and I think it was within hours later or that night, I'm watching TV and I see come along the ticker over there, Steelers signed Patrick Peterson. I thought I was dreaming.
Crazy, right?
I jumped up out of bed. I ran to my son's room. I go, we just signed Patrick Peterson. He was already on the phone with somebody talking about it. I thought he was sleeping. I said, come on, I'm not sleeping. I saw it. So that's a great pickup. I mean, we lost Cameron Sutton, picked up Patrick Peterson. I wrote down a couple other names I was looking up the other day. Later on, they signed this kid, Eldon Roberts, from the Dolphins, a linebacker, because we needed to replace, like you said, Devin Bush. And Miles Jackson, they let Miles Jackson go. Remember I told you last year, I thought he was going to be a great pickup. He didn't last a year.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't right on that one.
Yeah, that was a little bit different. I remember you saying, too, I guess, it wasn't, I don't know. You said it could be hit or miss. And I'm telling you, man, last year's interview was so on point. But no, Patrick Peterson, man, I just want to zone in on that real quick, man. You guys signed Patrick Peterson. That to me, he looks like a Steeler, man.
Oh, man. They had a video clip of him coming to camp yesterday because, like I said, they arrived yesterday. And he's like, Steeler Nation, I'm here. Let's go. And I just like, oh, boy, so shaking.
Oh, he's ready to go, man. He is such a solid athlete, and he's gonna help make that defense so much better, man. So really good stuff there.
Yeah. Then just to go on a little more real quick, they re-signed Trubisky, which I thought he was going to be gone for 3 years, but I guess he likes being backup. DeMonte Casey, the guy in the secondary, they re-signed. James Pierre, who I read a stat had some kind of crazy stat where he was the best. He had the best percentage of like playing a receiver one-on-one. I don't know. I got to look it up, but that's what I saw.
What was that again, Ralph? You cut out a little bit there, man. What was that last part?
I'm sorry. James Pierre, cornerback.
Oh, that's right.
He played a lot during the beginning of the year because Levi Wallace got hurt. And I saw a crazy stat like that about him, about one-on-one coverage. I meant to look it up, but I didn't have time to. And yeah, like you said, we acquired Allen Robinson. I mean, come on, we're making trades for a wide receiver like that. I mean, great. It just gives you the oomph to like, let's go, let's get this season going. And like you said, we released Witherspoon. Anthony Miller was a wide receiver, and I think the Ravens just signed Arthur Millette the other day, from what I saw. And yeah, that's basically that was the off season. Oh, we re-signed Larry Ojanabi. I can't really say his name. For the defensive line. He played awesome last year. He was really good.
Yeah, Ogunjobi is monstrous, man. You guys had a pretty good free agency.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, this is the incarnation of Omar Khan, I guess.
You know what?
Something where Steeler fans aren't used to.
Yeah, and you know what? I like it. I like it a lot because you need to shake things up. Sometimes it just has to happen. And you know what? There's a lot that could go on. You guys had a solid team for such a long time. And you know what? It's just the era has to change. You know, sometimes it just has to happen. Things got to move around, and you know, you guys got a great head coach. You guys got a really good, solid core of guys right now that are still there from last year. You moved some pieces around, and you know, some big departures, some big pickups. But yeah, man, you guys really had a pretty good free agency, and the Steelers are trying to win, man. You know, the Steelers want it now. The Steelers aren't trying to rebuild. You want it now.
I honestly believe that's the direction they after this past the off season. Yeah, I could see that. I think it's they're saying to themselves out there, it's time.
Oh yeah, you guys don't. The Steelers don't like being away from the playoffs very much, so you know it's just tradition with you guys. So yeah. With that said, all right, Ralph. So let's go into this draft, man, because the 14th overall pick. I mean, just what an athlete! All right, so Pennsylvania just loves these Georgia guys apparently because half of the Georgia Bulldogs roster is on the Eagles, and hey,
exactly,
you guys went ahead and picked up a few yourself. Well, I think at least one, but this guy right here, Broderick Jones, man, 14th overall pick in the draft. You pick up Broderick Jones, monstrous tackle,
monster,
another huge piece of that offensive line, and then I mean, not to slight him. Okay, not to slight him because we're going to talk about him. He's a monster. But the second round pick for you guys with 32nd overall, Ralph, I love this. This was just one of my.
I could tell you're pausing. You're like.
It was one of my favorite moments of the draft, man, because you and I both know who Joey Porter was. All right,
oh my God,
Joey Porter. I don't care if I was a Raider fan or whoever I cheer for, man. I was a fan of Joey Porter. You know, back in high school, this guy was a beast, man. He hit everything. I mean, this guy was an absolute monster of a man on the field, and I loved his gameplay. And wouldn't you know it, he's available. Start of the second round.
I don't know how.
I don't know how either, but they pulled the trigger. And Joey Porter Jr., his son, corner from Penn State, comes on over to the Steelers. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time that's ever happened. If I think I saw history or something like that happen where they've actually, you know, a team chose a player. So I mean, I don't know if that's like for sure fact, but I think I saw something like that. But even if it isn't, this is such really cool history, just awesome. You guys landed. He is not just a solid corner. He is a legacy to the team. This guy, he's going to play every game just with that much more heart and passion because of his father playing the same way that he did for this organization. You know, think about it.
They're going to give him a chance for the starting spot too.
He deserves it. He is a hell of an athlete, and this young man can really, really help this defense out the way that his dad used to. Just give him a chance. So I'm excited for that. Moving forward, though, Keanu Benton, defensive tackle out of Wisconsin, he's a hog molly, man. That guy's a big boy. He is as advertised. I don't know how he fell this far. But then again, he looked like he might have been a second rounder. But regardless, he's a damn good second rounder. So you picked him up. Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia. Another Georgia guy heading on over to Pennsylvania. I mean, just a lot of big-time players here. Even in the fourth round, Nick Herbig, linebacker out of Wisconsin, another Wisconsin kid. And it's kind of crazy. After that, you had a couple seventh-round guys. Corey Trice, corner out of Purdue, and the compensatory pick from the LA Rams. It's Spencer Anderson, offensive lineman from Maryland. But regardless, Ralph, talk about the draft, man. How was it for you, and what do you think? How do you think the Steelers did this year?
All right, just one thing. Getting back to the signings, I forgot to mention. This is crazy. This just happened the other day before camp. They re-signed Alex Highsmith, so that's great. I love him.
That is great.
He's one of my new favorite Steelers, so I'm looking forward to meeting him this week, hopefully. Yeah, but the draft, it was insane. Broderick Jones, like you said, from Georgia, the kid's a monster. How could he fail? I mean, with the tutelage, I don't think he would have failed with any team. But the thing was we traded up. We went ahead of the Jets, which, you know me, like I just mentioned, I'm so happy. I was like, so, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's going to be a big piece in that offensive line. Really big piece. The Joey Porter Jr. pick, you were giving me chills just talking about it right there. I took my Joey Porter jersey out of the closet last night to pack it for the trip. Because hopefully I get a chance to meet him, and I want to have his father's jersey on, you know?
Oh, that would be so
and
cool.
Man, you just hear nothing but good things about this kid, you know? Penn State, great. He played great ball. I was watching highlights of him the day after they drafted him. And I'm like, how did he last to the second round, Larry? I don't know. I guess the NFL scout talent say they have their own ways. But yeah, we'll take them. We'll take them, and that's what everybody wanted. We actually wanted him with the first pick.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah, but, I can see that.
Yeah, everybody, they traded down. They're going to get Joey Porter Jr., nobody's picking him, and then they trade up and get Broderick Jones. Again, I believe that goes back to the, Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, they're in each other's ear. Who was the third pick? Was the guy Benton, I believe, right? Yeah, Benton?
Yeah.
Was it Darnell Washington? I'm sorry, Darnell Washington was the next pick. Did you see the size of this kid? He's almost as big as Broderick Jones.
Yeah, this kid is huge.
We're talking about, I just hope this offensive coordinator doesn't screw things up again this year, because I don't like him at all. And you know that from last year back Canada. If you line these two guys up on each end, you could use these guys like a Swiss knife. One can block, one can receive. You could use both of them as a receiver. You could both of them as blocking. Oh my God, it's just crazy to see. Benton, that was a good pick. My son loved that pick. He knew about him. Nick Herbig, that's the brother of the guy we signed from the Eagles, the lineman.
Which is
awesome. That's his brother.
Yeah, that I did not know that. That's crazy. He
yes,
is.
So
Herbig is pretty awesome, man.
You know who he trained with, right?
Not sure. Who was that?
Well, who else on the Steelers is from Wisconsin is T.J. Watt.
That's right. How could I forget about that?
I think he just came in. He was coming in or was in his second year while T.J. Watt was leaving. And they had a video put up the next day after they drafted him of them training at Wisconsin. And I was like, oh, my God, that's insane. Yeah, and then we took this kid, Corey Trice. I think he's from Purdue. And honestly, I was reading, they said he had a great mini camp before the training camp. He was one of the most talented cornerbacks that they had. So maybe he's a diamond in the rough. Who knows? Listen, Larry, like I told you last year, I never complain about that draft because it's hit or miss. Like, everybody knows. And at least 3 or 4 of their picks every year stick. And that's about what you could ask for. Not everybody's going to be a hit, But I get back to the Georgia fact. Don't forget we drafted George Pickens, the wide receiver, last year from Georgia. So he's also a Georgia draft pick for the Steelers. But yeah, no complaints. Broderick Jones was great, and the Joey Porter thing just solidified it for me as far as the draft. See if he can win the starting job in camp. He's going up against some good competition.
That's for sure, man. You guys really had a good draft, and I love what you did. I really do. You guys had a really good draft. A lot of solid players, and there's reason to believe the Steelers are going to be so much better than they were last year, which is scary good because, if they won 9 games last year with the roster they had, my goodness, what they can do this year if they just get it together, it's awesome. So that's a perfect segue to roll right on into this segment, Ralph. It is so neat to see this schedule right now. because this year, of course, you're battling your good old buddies, the AFC North. Sorry, no, so I said NFC,
man.
but the AFC North. Then on the schedule this year, not only do you have, your tough rivalry games there, you
Right.
also have, from what it looks like, I believe it is the AFC South that you're playing this year.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, it looks also like the NFC West. So,
Correct.
solid teams there. You know, the Niners, I mean, they were a quarterback away from a possible Lombardi last year. They looked pretty
The first game of the season.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Seahawks, you know, they look like they've got some things going for them right now. The Cardinals, how are they going to look this year? You know, did they get things figured out down there in Arizona? You know, also
Right.
taking a look at these Rams, I mean, are they completely out now? You know, are they still potent? What's going on there? You know, you take a look at the South, at the other division you're facing in the AFC South, and there's a lot of question marks there too. You know, are the Colts gonna be the Colts again and kind of find their footing? I know they got their new rookie quarterback, but how's he going to look? You know, we're
Right.
taking a look at the Texans, who really have revamped that whole team, but, you know, they got to gel. And, I mean, unless they come out that first year, we'll see. The Jaguars coming off of a division championship last year.
I think they arrived.
Oh, yeah. How are they going to be? You know, and then the Titans, a team that, I mean, my goodness, they went to the first round a couple years in a row and couldn't get it done, but they were studs throughout the regular season. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of different, and then, of course, there's a couple outliers in there, too, outlier teams that, you know, are just sprinkled in. But looking at this record here, looking at this schedule here, Ralph, tell us what you think your Steelers are going to do this year.
All right. Like once again, like I think I mentioned on last year's podcast, I don't really like doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like you said, I hit it on the head last year, but I think this year really depends on how Kenny Pickett evolves in his second season. And like I said, this guy, Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, they're sticking with him. We all thought he was going to get fired. And he knows Kenny Pickett. He coached him in Pitt when he went to Pitt. And I was scrolling through the schedule as you were talking to it. You know, the Niners are going to be a tough game right off the bat at Pittsburgh. And then we got a home game against the Browns. The AFC North is like, you can't give you have to give at least one team one win, you know, the home field advantage. So you're already talking about 3-3 right off the bat with that. So that's how I look at it. Yeah, the Rams, the Jaguars, like you said, the Titans, the Packers. We got the Packers coming in. No Aaron Rodgers. Cardinals, Patriots again. I think we play you guys again too. I'm not sure where the game is at.
Yeah,
the Raiders. Yes,
that's
yes. It's
early,
actually
early
a TV game, September 24th, 8:20. So you guys are going to be looking for revenge against us. Steeler, you know, Larry. By the way, besides the AFC North, you know what the next biggest Steeler opponent is after the AFC North. It's the Raiders.
It's the Raiders, man. Oh yeah, this is history. This goes back before I was even born, man.
I don't know how far back you go, but the Immaculate Reception and all those playoff games with Kenny Stabler, the nuts. Those you watch highlights of those games.
Hey, I'll tell you, as long as that's how it is, you know, the one game that we have slightly different names for, the Immaculate Reception, the Immaculate Deception. I mean,
There you go. Great way to put it.
It is a beautiful rivalry, hard hitting. I love it, and I'm excited for this to be on the schedule this year. I really am.
Yeah, to give you, I mean, Larry, I'm really pumped up about the defense this year. I mean, the defensive line with Hayward, Ogunjobi, and all those guys that are on that line that played last year, they really filled in really well. We got some great linebackers that we picked up too that I forgot to mention. Cole Holcomb from the Redskins. He's really they spoke about him and it was nuts. And the secondary, I mean, our secondary, I believe it could be top notch this year. You got Peterson, you got Minka, you're gonna have Wallace, you're gonna have Porter vying for the start. I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm gonna go proactive this year. I'm gonna go 10-6. And hopefully I didn't jinx them.
No. Hey, last year you didn't. Last year
No.
you said that 9-6 was a little high. You might think they might be lower, but you hit it on the head. So, so this.
I don't know. I'm just feeling very positive this year. I like the way things went in the off season, and it's a practice all off season. There's clips of him everywhere, throwing passes, whatever. He got married, so I think he's really going to evolve this year. Nye Tomlin came out yesterday in camp and said, "Yeah, we're looking to open it up this year." When do you ever hear a Steelers coach say that? And don't forget, you got Najee Harris back there, and the offensive line really retooled. So, yeah, I'm expecting good things, Larry. I'll just put it that way.
Absolutely, and you have every reason to, Ralph. That is awesome, man. I'm super excited for you. Excited for the season, man. Ready for these Steelers to get going. So, without further ado, there's one more segment. It was fun last year. I love it, man. You have a good little in between respectful rivalry approach to this, and I love how you do it, man. So, this, of course, we are at the Stick It To segment. Stick It To 'em, where you just told us how you think the Steelers are going to do this year. Well, now you get to tell us how you think the other three teams in the AFC North are going to do this year. Just a little brief type of deal. Let us know how you think they're going to do. And, you can take the nice, respectful route. You can take the, the mean and ugly route or something in the middle, just kind of, don't get too crazy. But at the end of the day, you can also tell us how you really feel about those other three teams. And boy, this is always a fun one. So without further ado, Ralph, stick it to them.
2023 AFC North, the best division in the NFL. This year will be the year the Pittsburgh Steelers, #here we go, pick up the division like they've always have been in the past, whether it was the AFC Central or the AFC North. Look it up. The Steelers have the most division championships. The Bengals have 11. The Ratbirds have 6. And your Cleveland Brown stains, I didn't even look up how many you had. So this is just a message. Be aware. AFC North, the Steelers are coming. They're coming to take the top spot, and you are all going to have to deal with it. Let's go, Steelers. Here we go, Larry.
The applause button has been hit. I love it. It's short, it was sweet, and it was just downright nasty. I love it. You're coming. And I love you. That's the all call right there. Ralph just told everybody. I love it. Great stuff there, man. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Ralph, it's always such a pleasure having you on, man. This year on the regular season, I can't wait to have you back. We're going to have so much fun talking about all of your Steelers and all these great games they're going to be having. So thanks again for being back here on the show, man. I appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy man. Have fun in camp. I look forward to seeing all kinds of pictures and videos and cool
definitely.
stuff, man. It's going to be great. So once again, let all these diehard Steelers, man, let Steelers Nation know where they can find you, Ralph.
All right, Larry. I'm not really on social media much, so it's just really Twitter, Police R786. That's Ben and Heinz Ward's numbers that I placed in there. So that's all I have. I'm basically on Twitter. And one little note about myself. I remember you asked me last year anything about myself. This will be my last year working for the where I work. I'm the electric utility here in New York. I'm retiring. 35 years of service put in, and I'm going to be turning 55. So I'm packing it in, buddy.
Man, the applause button has been hit yet again. Sir, your service to your community has been amazing. That is a long time, and you are much deserved in that retirement, man. So thank you once again.
Sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your service to your community over there. Just thank you for being a great human being, man. I'm telling you, every single time I can have you on the show, Ralph, I'm going to reach out to you and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other great Steeler fans out there, but
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to the show, man, I'm gonna reach for Ralph first. If you're not available, then I'll go somewhere else. But you're always.
Larry, I thank you so much, man. This is much appreciated. I love doing this. It was great to hear from you. To ask me to do it again, and anytime you feel like you want me to come on, I'll be glad to come on, and I thank you again.
Hey, thank you, sir. Have you a great rest of your day, man. Take care, and we'll have you back on the show very soon.
Okay, Larry. Good luck to all the teams this year. Let's go Steelers.
There it is, brother. Take care, Ralph. Have a great day, man.
You too, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. Take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Ralph Khalees. That guy is awesome, right? He's such a cool dude. So, I love talking to him. He is a big-time Steelers fan. But we're just getting things started, you guys. We are just getting things started. Coming up next, we welcome another IE Sports Radio classic here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to start calling these guys classics, guys and gals, because BMO Flocka, man, he's ready to talk about these Ravens, and he is, man, there's reason to believe these Ravens, if they hit it all right this year and fire on all cylinders, this team can go as far as they want to. That could even mean a Lombardi. I mean, they are good. You know, you already know, I'm taking the Bills this year. That's just what I feel. But these Ravens, oh, they can take it too. They're really good. So, and these Steelers, man, who knows? If they come out and play, it's just going to be a great. And I love this AFC North. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, with that said, you guys, that is it for our Steelers interview, and once again, big shout out and thank you to Ralph Khalees. It's time to transition on over to Baltimore, as when we come back from this break, we'll be talking to BMO Flocka. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, AFC Week, day number 4, the conclusion of AFC Week, with me, your boy Larry B, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. When we come back, we're talking Ravens after this.
What up, Boston sports fans? This is Mikey Two Guns here, your host of Our Bleepin' City, airing every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please join me. We'll talk everything Boston sports, all the local teams, college teams. I'm even down to talk MMA, boxing, whatever you guys want. So join me every Wednesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. Chime in with your questions on the chat, tweet the show. We'll even have call-ins. I can't wait to hear from you guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. So once again, it's Our Bleepin' City. I am your host, Mikey Two Guns, every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. See you soon, people.
All right. Welcome to AZ Sports Daily. I'm your host, Kiernan Daly, bringing the heat to Arizona sports. There's no discrimination here. We're going to talk about every sports team, professional and college. The show is all about you, the listener. I'm here to entertain you. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? It's going to be fun, high energy. You may not agree with what I say. That's okay. Let me hear you. Let's talk about it. Join me every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on AZ Sports Daily. That's AZ Sports, Daily, and at IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. They are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are. We just finished up talking about those here we go Steelers. And, well, Ralph is very excited to see how his team will do this year. However, now we take a trip on over to Baltimore. And we got ourselves a familiar voice on the line. This man has been in countless primetime face-offs. He has been a part of IE Sports Radio for a while, man. He's been around, and we just love having him. He's been the fan of the month before. We got to get him in the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame this year because he's on the ballot. He's a great dude, man. Glad to have him here to talk about his Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know who it is. B-Mo Flocka. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Yo, what's the business, man? Thanks for having me on, brother.
Hey, brother, it's always a great time with B-Mo Flocka, man. Over here telling it how it is and getting down, man. So I'll tell you, it's great having you back on here, man. And let's get on into it. So this past season was something. It was crazy, man. You guys. To think you had some injuries, a lot of things were kind of negative, and you still managed to finish 10-7 in second place in the AFC North. Just a very up and down season, but more ups and downs. 10-8 overall, 3-4 in the North, and a little bit of recap from last season, brother. This was crazy. We start off the year with a nice victory over the Jets. And just when everyone thinks you're going to win a good amount of games straight, where the first challenge just might be Buffalo, you fall off to the Dolphins. And it was crazy. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody did. However, you lost a close one to the Dolphins, rebounded next week with the victory over the Patriots, and then there was that punch-for-punch heavyweight battle versus Buffalo, man, in week 4, and it was a good game. Unfortunately, you guys came up just short. I had you guys winning that game. It was a very close one, but 23-20 loss there, but it's all good. You guys rebound the very next week over the Cincinnati Bengals. Very tough physical game. That's always a good game there, but there is that quick little victory you guys got at home, and then you went on out on the road to face the Giants. Once again, didn't see this coming. I really thought that you guys were going to take care of the Giants. But then again, I didn't know the Giants were going to be as good as they were last year. Regardless, tough loss to the Giants. And then you head out from there, go back home. And, well, now the fun begins, I think, in the regular season, starting on October 23rd, because this was a big turning point, I think, for you guys, where you really started to turn it on more than early on in the season. You take out the Cleveland Browns, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Saints. You get a bye week, and there's another victory. The Carolina Panthers, 4 in a row, and then another head-scratcher. You drop a close one, 1-point game, 28-27 in Jacksonville. But then you wake up again, you take it to Denver, get a 1-point victory, you take it to Pittsburgh, a 2-point victory, and then another head-scratcher. You head to Cleveland, and you just couldn't get it right, man. Couldn't get it right that game. Drop that one by 10. But then you head back home, take on the Falcons, get a victory. And this was the weirdest thing. You go back home, and the Steelers come to town, and you lose a close defensive battle, which I really thought you guys had. Then you take on Cincinnati. And I guess a game I think you really needed was that Pittsburgh Steelers game to add more momentum, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be. You would lose 27-16 in Cincinnati, and then turn around and go right back the next week in the wild card. Unfortunately, nearly the same score. The Week 18 score, 27-16, and then wild card weekend, 24-17. Very similar game, very similar score, and then you guys would make your exit, and well, we are on to this season. So B-Mo Flocka, man, talk all about that last season, man. Give me every raw emotion from last season as a Ravens fan.
Man, I'm going to just start with pure rage. pure rage. I'm talking about like the season started so good. It was so promising too, because I mean we have Rashad Bateman who was supposed to shine after being injured the season before, and then we just had a lot of good players. You know what I'm saying? And then Marcus Williams being added to the squad. I mean, we got rid of Chuck Clark, after this season, but that past season was so hurtful for me, man. Like, because it was so up and down. It was Six Flags over America. It had to be because it was just so up and down. And then when Lamar went down, and we were still winning close, I figured we still had a shot because once we picked up Roquan Smith mid-season, oh, we turned all the way up, and then your boy Mark Andrews held us down. You know what I'm saying? Our running backs, they held us down. You know what I'm saying, for the season, and then of course Justin Tucker, like he came in so clutch so many times, but that addition with Roquan coming to the team, man, that just turned us all the way up, and then we get to the playoffs. And we think we have a chance, especially against our oppositions. You know what I'm saying? Them Bengals. And man, we just dropped the ball literally on the 1 yard line. We dropped the ball, yo. Like, man, say that was the heartbreaker right there. But at the same time, we knew Lamar wasn't there, and it would have been different if he was. But it was all about that, and then the money, worrying about that man's pockets, like that just was going crazy all season. But now he signed and he ready. So I mean, that season was very emotional for me. It's one of the most emotional ones since '96 because we had a team that could actually have went all the way compared to the other teams. The Chiefs would have been a problem, of course, because they're the champs. But I mean, like every other team that was in the playoffs, we matched up with. It was just we had our backup and we just dropped the ball, bro. But it's football. That's what happens in football. That's why we love the game, man. So that's why I'm looking forward to this season because we done added up. We done got rid of some dummies, and we ready.
I couldn't have said that better myself. That's exactly what you did. And we're going to get into that offseason, man, because you guys had an offseason. It was crazy, man. You guys would pick up Nelson Aguilar. Hey, that's a good pickup. I'm an SC guy. He's from SC. He played for the Patriots last year. I think he can really do something in this offense of your guys'. Calais Campbell. Kind of a tough one there. I don't know how you feel about that, but he's heading over to the Falcons. You have also Chuck Clark heading on over to the Jets. Some departures there, some pickups. Angelo Blackson heading over from the Bears. So interior D-line there. You guys will add some depth at quarterback with Josh Johnson. I mean, just, Laquan Treadwell. A guy that I feel that honestly can go over there and make something happen from the Seahawks coming over. I mean, there was a lot of moving pieces, man. But what do you think, man? Who were your biggest pickups and your biggest departures for the Ravens this offseason? And then we'll go ahead and get on into the draft.
The biggest departure was definitely Calais Campbell, man. Like with that centerpiece gone, it was tough, but we actually got a young beast named Travis Jones that plays with us too on that D line, and then Tyus Bowser been showing some sign off the edge, and then we still got to keep developing Adafi Owe. Like he got so much potential. It's just he's untapped potential to where like he hasn't had a breakout just yet, but I think he's going to do it this season. But that was our biggest loss, but our biggest gain. I mean, of course, it was Odell Beckham. You know what I'm saying? Because Odell he's definitely going to take attention from the defense, but that dog Zay Flowers that we picked up number 1 in the draft, yeah, man, just watch for him. That's the addition that I'm waiting on to see is Zay Flowers because he dogging in minicamp right now.
You know what, man? And I don't know how I didn't mention Odell Beckham because that's true, man. He's a huge pickup. But let's get right on into it, man. And you're right. Zay Flowers is getting it right now. And he is, as advertised, the young man here is just a crucial piece here to this team. He was, just an all-star, man. He's what you would love to come onto your team and get down. He has that killer instinct, I feel. And he has a lot going for him, man. He's in camp right now getting it. And you know what, man? All the best to him, because he's somebody out of Boston College, man, of all places, too. You know, he was overlooked, I feel like, by a lot of schools when he was coming out. And he got it done, man. He went over there, he played ruthless, and now look at him. He's getting down in Baltimore right now. And I think he's a big spark you guys needed. You guys got some key wide receivers. So next up, I mean, you know, didn't have a second rounder, but Trenton Simpson, linebacker out of Clemson. That was nice, man. I like him. I think he slipped way too far, and you guys just happened to pick him. He would fall to one of the biggest, baddest, nastiest defensive teams to ever be in the NFL. You know, he would fall to you guys, and I love that. You also pick up Tavius Robinson, another linebacker who I seriously feel that fell way too far as well. But guess what? He fell to you guys. Also, Kyle Blue Kelly, that is, man. This dude, a corner out of Stanford. I have seen him because, of course, I'm a Pac-12 guy. This guy has lots of promise. I mean, you guys did pick up some players, man. Amuave Lalu, I don't want to butcher his name there, but another guy out of Oregon, big tackle. I've seen this guy a few times play. And in that 7th round, man, Andrew Voorhees, guard out of USC. Hopefully I got his name right, but of course I'm an SC guy. I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of this team, you know, and I feel that this right now, you guys, I feel like you had a pretty good draft. But that's your call. And let us know, BMO, how you feel they did, man. Do you think that this Ravens team drafted pretty good? Or do you think it was, could have been better? So let us know. Tell us all about it, BMO Flocka.
Man, I think that the Ravens had a pretty solid draft, like, because we really didn't need too much. Well, because we already kind of loaded. Like, before Zay got there, we still had Devin Duvernay. We still had James Prochet. Well, he didn't show up too much, but we had him. We still had JK at the time. We still had Gus, and we still got him at the time. Our defense, our offense was loaded, but that piece with Trenton Simpson, my God, it's going to be so crazy because we got Roquan, Patrick Queen, and Simpson out there wilding, man. That's almost like Lewis, Sharper, and Boulware.
Oh yeah.
Nah, I went all the way
you
back.
Went way far. You went back to the 90s.
Yeah, I had to get to that greatest defense of all time, because that's really what we try to build on. Like, that's what I see. I see that we always try to build according to that 2000 Ravens defense, because it worked. It worked to the T. So, like, sometimes, like, we may jump out in the 4-3, which looks good, even though we were mostly 3-14. But, like, as long as you got solid middle linebackers and 2 outside backers with some fast safeties and DBs, man, the draft, like, we especially what was the homie from Stanford? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the homie from Stanford. He's in a passing defense all the time because of that West Coast defense. That West Coast offense. So he's gonna see. He knows how to move. That's all we need, because our linebackers and our D line is gonna eat so much. Our DB's gonna sit back and just catch the balls that's getting hit out of the QB's hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, just watch. We're going to work, man. That draft was A1. I liked it, but, we really didn't need it, except Zay. You know what I'm saying? Zay and Trenton. Like, other than that, everybody else is complimenting the team.
And that's what you want. That's exactly what you wanted, because this team, a healthy team now, and like I said, you just added, Kyle Blue Kelly. This dude is, you're absolutely correct, man. This dude is everything I think you guys needed in some more depth. This is a very good draft, as you mentioned, A1. And the best part about it is you guys are nowhere near done with getting better. I feel like the finished product on this field, I feel like as good as you guys are going to get, this team can still get better and continue to build. And what do I mean by that? I feel like this team is going to be one of the top teams in the NFL, at least, that's how I feel, for sure. Next year, adding even more pieces, draft-wise and everything. Seriously, I feel like the Ravens, the Ravens can be scary for years to come, man, and I love it. You're right. This defense is gonna be nasty, man. Trenton Simpson, it's gonna be nice.
Let me shout out one thing, man. Shout out to your Raiders for the boy Rock Yassin. We appreciate him, man. I mean, Rock Yassin is a dog out there. We needed him.
Love him. My Raiders just don't. You seen Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. We can't get right. That's the Raiders, man. We just can't get right. Just can't do it. We that's exactly what the Raiders are. but
y'all picked up Marcus Peters today, so you know what I'm saying. We threw y'all a favor. Y'all got Marcus Peters.
True, and we exactly. I'm happy we picked him up. I get it. He's on the older end, but still, I feel like we still got a quality player there. So it's rough. It's going to be rough right now, with this season, I feel. But, let's see what the Raiders can do. But right now, man, you guys, this Baltimore Ravens team is just – there's so much to be excited about, B-Mo Flocka. There's so much to want to just cheer on and to be there. I'm excited to watch this team this year because – I feel like you guys are going to give the Bengals hell, man. I mean, the Bengals, they earned it. They have a damn good team. They have a very good quarterback. They got one of the best wide receivers, I think, best young wide receivers right now in the league in Jamar Chase. I mean, there is a lot to be excited about if you're a Bengals fan, but the Ravens are here, man. The Ravens, if they can just stay healthy, I mean, that's like the only issue you guys have had over the last couple of years. But this year, you guys can stay healthy and just do what you did. I mean, there's reason to believe the Ravens can go as far as they want to. I mean, you agree with that, man?
I'm gonna tell you how much I agree with that. So 2 months ago, after July, June, May? Yeah, back in May when the schedule came out, I instantly got on FanDuel and put a bet in for the Ravens winning the Super Bowl and for Lamar Jackson winning MVP again.
Damn. Wow. Dang, B-Mo Flocka. That's crazy, man. But you know what? It goes to show you that you got some confidence. You got a lot of confidence in this team. And seriously, man, it's it's something that I feel is realistic. This team, they can get that far. They have the talent, I can sit here and say, because right now I feel like the Bills out of the AFC are the one to get there this year. That's just my thoughts, my predictions. But honestly, man, the Ravens, it's just because we haven't, seen them yet. But when they get on that field, they start winning, man. It's going to turn some heads. I don't want to dog the Bengals just yet because they're defending champs in that division. But my gosh, man, these Ravens are scary. They are so scary. And on the NFC, it's very hard to not pick the Eagles, man, because they basically got Georgia on their team, the whole damn team. But this is a solid football team coming out of Philly, and I feel like you guys, man, are a very solid team coming out of Baltimore, and it's very possible that you guys can go all the way. And this is, I'm not going to sit here and say this to anybody. I mean, if I'm sitting here talking to a Texans fan or you know what I mean, or a Raider fan, or I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, well, they can get there. No, you're probably not going to get there. But the Ravens, man, honestly, there's. The only team that can stop the Ravens is the Ravens, man. I mean, let's just be real, this is a strong football team with lots of talent. I mean, everywhere you look, there's talent. That defense is as good as it gets right now. So, like I said, man, there's lots of reason to believe this Ravens team has everything they need right now. So I like the fact that, a lot of people out there are sleeping on this team because good, sleep on them. And when they start winning, don't get mad. Right?
Exactly, man. Like, I feel like this is the most depth on offense that we've ever had in our whole existence since '96. Like, we've had some solid offenses, like the 2013 champ offense with Flacco. We had a Willis McGahee and a couple other running backs, LaRon McClain. We had Anquan Bolden and Torrey Smith and Dennis Pettit and a couple of other tight ends. But this core we got this year coming up, it's never been this dynamic. Oh, and let me give one more shout out. Shout out to Todd Monken from Georgia. he gonna turn us all the way up.
I can totally see that, man. This is a great team, and you seriously have so much to be excited for, man. So, BMO Flocka, we pretty much reached the end here, man. But we got one more thing to discuss, and as you know, this is a fun segment here at the end called Stick It To 'Em, where you get to talk a little trash on the other three teams in the AFC North, and you already told us all about how you feel this Ravens team can do this year. So tell us how you think those other three teams are going to do, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Steelers. And then, of course, don't get too crazy, but hey, let us know how you really feel about those teams, man. So without further ado, B-Mo Flocka, stick it to 'em.
Hey, it's like this. Like, I'm no hater. So the Bengals, they gonna of course be a problem. The Steelers, they gonna be a problem too because they got one of the greatest coaches of all time. Like Mike Tomlin, still my dog, even though he played for the opposition. The Browns are the Browns. We just got to see what they're gonna do. They got weapons like Nick Chubb and Sean Watson and Njoku, the tight end and all that, but they always going to have that curse of being the Browns. So, we got to just see what they do. But as far as the Bengals, and the Bengals, they can do whatever they want. They can win as many AFC North championships they want. That's the only thing going in their trophy case. So, you know what I mean? The real opposition is the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Steelers always been the top dogs in the division, and we've been up there with them. So, well, that's really who we look at. The Bengals, like, they get some little lucky games where Joe Burrow threw for 500 yards on us, and he tore us apart that game. And I can't even hate on him. Like, the Bengals got mad weapons. Like, they got mad weapons on offense. Their defense is solid, too, because they fast. But the Ravens this year, oh, yeah, we taking that North. We going 5-1 or 6-0 in the North. And I stamped that right now, July 25th.
The applause button has been hit, B-Mo Flocka. That was amazing, brother. And you know what? I love that. Not even getting crazy into the trash talk. Giving the props, but saying, hey, we're going to beat y'all. And that's all there is to it. So I love it, man. Definitely great stuff there. And just overall, man, wonderful segment. Always great having you on, brother. And please let all these diehard Ravens fans know, let everybody out there listening right now know, where can they find you, man?
Hey, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at bflocka5 or just search bmo flocka. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull up right on that Twitter. Hit me on that Twitch. You know what I'm saying? You can just search bmo flocka. It's twitch.tv/bmo flocka. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the two places I be at. Holla at me anytime.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Trust me, y'all. B-Mo Flock is the kind of people you just want to have in your life, man. He's a great dude, great guy, and that's why we just love having him back on the show, man. You're on that IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame ballot this year, man. I hope we can get you in there, brother. So keep it up, man. Keep all the great things you do, man, and we look forward to having you back on the show very soon. Thanks again, brother.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, and thank all the people that be listening, man.
Hey, that's right, man. You're very welcome. And hey, we will have you back very soon. Have you a great rest of your evening, brother, and we will talk to you very soon.
All right, you too, man. Flocked out.
Take care, brother.
All right.
All righty, y'all. B-Mo Flocka. That dude's awesome, man. He's just a great dude. Team player. I'm telling you, man. He's a great guy. And always great talking football with him. And there's so much reason to be excited for the Ravens. This is a good football team. There's so much there, and I love what they got going. B-Mo Flocka is so correct when he says, how strong this team really is, and yeah, man, they're a scary team. But hey, we got a couple more teams to talk about. We just finished up with the Steelers, just finished up now with the Ravens. We are heading on over to Cleveland now to talk about them Cleveland Browns, and then we're going to finish up talking with our boy Chris, man. You already know who it is, Chris Lehman of The Extra Mile here on IE Sports Radio. So, we are rolling through the AFC, man. Just two more teams down. Two more teams to go. 14 down, 2 to go in the AFC as we are here on the conclusion of AFC Week. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC Week, day number 4, and day number 4 in the entire series, of course, of 8 divisions in 8 days. As we are talking AFC North, we are talking I almost said Bengals. We are talking Browns right after this.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
Your wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports, exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are. It has been a great show so far. We finished up talking about the Steelers a little bit ago with Ralph. Then we just got off the air with our boy B-Mo Flocka talking about his Baltimore Ravens. That's always a fun segment, talking to him every year. And, well, this year we got ourselves a newcomer. I'm so glad to have her here. She is a diehard Browns fan, and I'll tell you, she's such a diehard Cleveland fan. You know, a little bit of foreshadowing here, but it's a possibility she might stick around here at IE Sports Radio because she's that awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have her here for her first time to help me talk about these Cleveland Browns, her Cleveland Browns. Ladies and gentlemen, she, of course, is a diehard Cleveland fan of every team, and, well, we always got to give our newcomers the warmest of welcomes. Welcoming, of course, Miss Jen. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You are very, very welcome. Thank you for being here. I mean, I'm telling you, I saw you on Twitter, and I was like, oh, man, this woman's a diehard. So, glad to have you here, and thanks again for helping us talk about that crazy dog pound.
Oh, yes.
So, all right, Jen, let's go ahead and start things off with last season. So, oh my gosh, 7-10, 7-10.
Yeah.
I know. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid, right? So, 7-10 on the season. You guys would go 3-3 in the North, in the AFC North, and, well, you know, let's go ahead and just talk about the craziness that was. So, you start off the season in Carolina with a nice little victory. Okay, cool. You look good. Sweet. Seems pretty all right, Seems like a, good little start. And then as you win by 2 points, the very next week, you head back home and you lose the home opener by 1 point to the Jets. After that, you will welcome over your your best buddies, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you send them away with a nice L. But then, unfortunately, you guys would experience a few L's of your own, as there would be a 4-game skid, ouch, losing to the Falcons, the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Ravens. And boy, was that Ravens game close. But after that, you will actually get a nice victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that you guys just instant rivalry. It's always a good game no matter what. And, well, unfortunately, this time it wasn't the best of games for you guys. But tough loss there. But, victory. I'm sorry. It was a good game. I'm sorry about that. I was looking at the Ravens game. It was a victory. It was a 32-13 victory. Bad Larry B. Sorry. You get a nice victory into the bye week. Now, this is what I was looking at. Into the bye week, and then, unfortunately, you came up on a really short side of the stick versus these Miami Dolphins, and then it just kind of continued. You played a very good... Yeah, it was a tough one, but you played a good Buffalo team that would have a very good season. You played them well, but unfortunately it was a loss. But hey, it's okay, because things are looking up at this point. You get a nice overtime victory over Tampa Bay. Then you head on over to Houston. You get a victory over the Texans. Then, unfortunately for you guys, you would drop one to the Cincinnati Bengals away. Season doesn't look too good at the moment, but hey, we're going to see what you guys can do in the last 4 games. You head home, and what do? You knock off the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, now we're looking good. But then the Saints come on over, give you a loss. Dang it. At this point, it's kind of like all right, I guess that's really that. I mean, if the season wasn't already over, I guess that's really it. Then you head on over to Washington. You get a nice victory over the Commanders, and then you head on over to Pittsburgh, and, well, there goes a tough loss. So, I know. Yeah. Sorry for all that, having to relive that, but... Jen, give us every raw emotion from last year.
Well, so, it started in the off season with all the craziness at quarterback. I pretty much was cautiously optimistic when the suspension came down for Deshaun Watson. I had more faith in Jacoby Brissett than most, but I also knew that everything had to go right, and it didn't. So, when the Panthers game up until the last quarter, I was like, all right, this is what we expected to see. All right, we're going to be okay. We might be able to make it through this. And then the defense fell apart. And I was like, that's a problem. But it's the first week. It's okay. They'll work it out. They didn't work it out.
Well, that's a womp, womp, womp.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like, people were calling for Joe Woods to be fired the year before, but, it didn't happen. So, we had to suffer through it. So, and then Myles Garrett and his car crash. And we were like, the defense is already bad. And now Myles is hurt. What are we going to do? So it was a lot of ups and downs. And I think a lot of people had way too high expectations for Deshaun Watson coming back after 700 days not playing and coming into an offense that wasn't built for him. So I did not have very high expectations. I did not expect him to be the superstar he was in Houston. So I was happy with what I saw in most of the games. The Washington game, particularly, he looked like it was coming back. But it was the defense was so disappointing all season. The running, Buffalo running all over us when they don't run was horrible. It was like being back in the Hugh Jackson days for some of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was. It was just like, because I expected the defense to at least be solid. I knew the offense might have some issues. Jacoby Brissett's not a superstar quarterback, but he can manage a game. But the defense just was so bad. And I think by the Pittsburgh game, the defense had just completely quit on Joe Woods. So it was there was no winning that game no matter what happened.
Well,
even though it was the last week of the season and nobody had anything to play for.
Screw it. This is pity points. We're just trying to gain anything we can right now. But honestly, Jen, there's reason to believe, though. This team, you know what? Let's get into the offseason. You didn't, not having a first or second is never the best, but okay, we get into the free agency, though. Putting the cart before the horse here. So get into free agency. Okay. The Browns. There were some pickups and there were some departures, all right? Some I guess we can, whichever you like to call it. But the Darius Smith. Okay.
Yes.
This dude is pretty solid. Coming from the Vikings, solid athlete. And you know what? He seems pretty dang good. Also, coming along with him is Dalvin Tomlinson. This is a guy who I also really like as well. Moving on over to the Browns this year as well, Elijah Moore. You have Marquise Goodwin, another dude coming on over, Tristan Hill from the Cardinals. I mean, there are some pretty good names. Maurice Hurst. You guys are starting to really try to build that defensive line. I mean, it's a good thing to have. Joshua Dobbs. That's interesting at quarterback. I mean, I'm saying there's a lot. Wes Martin coming over from the Commanders. There's a lot to be excited for. However, though, there were some departures. You guys would Jacoby Brissett is on his way over to the Commanders. You guys would lose Taven Bryan is on his way out as well. Greedy Williams is out. You guys lost, let's see here, D'Ernest Johnson to the Jaguars. I mean, Jesse James, tight end to the Saints. So there were some pickups, some departures. Farrell Brown also to the Colts is another one. But, I don't know. I feel like the free agency was just kind of odd for you guys. I don't know. You got some pickups, but you lost some big pieces as well. Who are your biggest pickups and departures for the Browns this offseason?
With the departures, I honestly wasn't too sad to see any of them go except Jacoby, and only because he's just such a nice guy. I just didn't want him to go. He is. He's like you want to be friends with him.
Right, he is. He's like a really nice person. He seems, his interviews are also genuine. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, and he's so genuine, and he's like the best backup quarterback you could possibly have. And so I was kind of hoping that they would find a way to keep him. I knew they probably wouldn't because, he would want more money than, Josh Dobbs. So, I'm happy for him that he got a job, and, depending on what happens with Sam Howell, he may play again, which is good for him. So I'm happy for him, but I was sad to see him go. The rest of the departures, I wasn't really surprised about. A little sad to see Kareem go, but just because he's, from Cleveland, his play has fallen off. So I'm not gonna miss him that much. I actually cringed every time they put him in towards the end of the season last year.
Oh man.
Because he was not looking that great last year. So, I'm okay with it. The defensive players that left, good riddance. But during free agency, the initial wave, I was like, all right, they made some good signings. They got, Dalvin Tomlinson, Juan Thornhill. I was like, all right, cool. Filled in some of those holes. And then they did the Hill and Hurst, and I was like, I've never heard of them, but okay. we need bodies in that room.
Good athletes, though. Yeah, I know what you mean. But no, I think you got some pretty good pickups in those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about Hurst, so hopefully he can stay healthy, and we'll see what he can do. And then I was actually getting into bed, had just turned off the light and was laying down, and I saw I had a notification on my phone, and I looked at it, and it said, the Browns have traded for Zadarius Smith. And I was like, the Browns did what? And I looked at the time, it was like 11:29, and I was like, the Browns did what? Shouldn't Andrew Berry be sleeping? He has babies at home.
I mean, right? You would think, right?
I was like, what the heck? So I had to run back downstairs and tell my husband. So he's like, he turns on YouTube real quick, and we're like trying to find a video about it. And one of the YouTube guys that we watch pretty regularly did a video, and he was like, thanks, Andrew Berry, for making me get back up and do a video at midnight.
Oh, that's pretty funny. But you guys got quality, though. I mean, really, that is so
I
big.
was so thrilled because I'm glad, they got Okoronkwo and they got Tomlinson. So I was like, well, at least they did something. But that defensive line was really bad. They need to do more.
Yeah, no, they
and
to work for the D-line this year.
Oh, yeah, they did. So then when they got Zadarius Smith, I was like, all right, now we're doing something. I'm still a little concerned with the DT room, especially after Perion's deal and getting cut. But Dalvin Tomlinson's huge, and then we've got Zadarius Smith that can play inside, and Myles Garrett can play inside. I'm hearing Alex Wright is probably going to be playing inside a lot. So they've got options. So as long as everybody stays healthy, I think we're okay.
Yeah,
and then the Juan Thornhill signing, I was happy about that. When I heard the Chiefs weren't re-signing him, I was like, come on, Andrew. And he did it. And then a little bit further down the road, they got Rodney McLeod too. So now our safety room is bolstered a little. So things are looking up. We got our cornerbacks coming back. Hopefully they forget all their bad habits they learned from Joe Woods and get back to playing the way they know how.
Right.
And then the linebacker room's the only one I'm a little iffy about because they're all coming off injury.
Yeah, that's true. You guys were pretty banged up at linebacker last year. And, like you said, though, health is the name of the game, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
It's just that's what it's all about. And, well, getting into the draft here, Jen, this is the crazy part. Okay, you guys actually, I don't know, this was something to me. No first, second round, but you got a pretty solid dude in the third. Actually, you got two of them. But the first one, man, I was so excited to see this guy go. Cedric Tillman. He was very good at Tennessee. I thought he was a pretty good playmaker. I was a little surprised he didn't go second round maybe, but he fell to the third round and you guys would snag him, and just what a good pickup for you guys there at wide receiver. I understand, I get it, the need is more on the defense I feel like right now, but still he can be a total game changer for you. Slot type guy, maybe even a special teamer, but he is a solid athlete. And then also another dude, Saik Ika. I always butcher his name, but the dude is an absolute stud out of Baylor. Another big monster body there. You play.
I know. The defensive line's going to be so crowded.
it's crazy to think, because as I always say,
Nobody's getting through. It's going to be like a brick wall.
It seems like it. I mean, it's this. I'll tell you right now. I was always saying in the AFC North, you got to play defense on offense to win in the AFC North. It is such a defensive, love it, such a defensive division. So, but you guys would go on and grab some more. Of course, Jawan Jones out of Ohio State was a big pickup in the fourth. Also, Isaiah McGuire, defensive end out of Missouri. So, even DTR, a guy that we know all too well. I'm a Pac-12 guy, USC guy, so he's a rival. But I'll tell you, Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback, why not? You picked him up. Cameron Mitchell, corner out of Northwestern in the fifth round. You guys got a lot of quality in your later picks. Who do you think can be a immediate impact? And what did you guys think about your guys' draft?
I was quite impressed. Andrew Berry never ceases to amaze me. I didn't have high hopes for the last two drafts, since we didn't have a first round pick. But other than Perrion, they worked out pretty well. And this draft, I was a little surprised that they took a wide receiver first after the Elijah Moore trade and the Marquise Goodwin signing and all of that. I thought they were pretty good in the wide receiver room at that point, so I was a little surprised that they took a wide receiver, but I was like, all right, I'll check him out. So we watched some tape on him and everything, and like you said, he's very athletic. I know popular opinion is that he is DPJ's replacement. DPJ is my favorite player, so I don't like that assessment. I hope he is Amari Cooper's replacement, personally. But we'll see.
Somebody we had here and over in Vegas. So yeah, I mean,
I love Amari Cooper, and I think he's a great guy. He's like Jacoby Brissett, like the nicest guy on the face of the planet. Him and Nick Chubb too. Like they're all like the nicest guys. Like you just want to like shake their hands through the TV when they talk.
No, it's true. They're super cool, and Amari Cooper, like I said, never any shade on him at all. He played his heart out for my Raiders. It's just unfortunately the scheme didn't fit, and he'll find his place. But as of right now, I feel like right now you guys have a pretty solid little base here. So let's go ahead and jump on into this season, Jen. You guys have a schedule that is, first things first.
All over the place.
Oh, yeah. The AFC North. All right, so we just got to talk about this AFC North. First things first, the Ravens have a pretty solid team. This team this year they're injury free, at least at the moment. We all are when we start the season, but this team looks pretty scary. The Steelers, what have they done? How do they look? How do we feel? They're coming, but and then of course the Bengals. They are they are the current champs of the AFC North. So this year, you guys are going to be taking on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the NFC West, and also sprinkled in there we have the what else? Who else is in there? The NFC West. And I believe the AFC South. So, along with all those teams, your own division that you're facing, and those other divisions right there, what do you think? I mean, what are your realistic expectations for your Browns this year?
So, realistically, if Deshaun Watson gets close to back to how he played in Houston, I expect 10 to 12 wins. If he doesn't, then I don't know what to expect. A lot of it's going to depend on how the defense comes together under Jim Schwartz, how he changes things up, and how these new players fit in and everything. The AFC North is always tough. It doesn't matter if one team stinks to high heaven. Those games are always hard-fought games. So, I mean, the Bengals don't scare me that much. We seem to have their number. in the conference or in the division they do, or the conference. But in the division, not so much. We've only lost to them once in the last 4 years, so
That's impressive.
I'm not.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about the Bengals. We seem to know how to handle them, but the Ravens are always tough. The Steelers are always tough. Kenny Pickett doesn't scare me, but I'm not sure what to expect out of Lamar Jackson this year with the new offensive coordinator. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I think it's gonna be a tough fight, and I think the division is probably going to be between the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns, and it's going to be a hard fight to the end to see who comes out on top.
I'll tell you right now, this team is built. They are built. This Browns team is built. They are good. They are ready to roll, and it's. I don't know. You're right. Deshaun Watson could be if he gets back to playing how he used to. My goodness, how could that be? So we'll see how that goes. So okay. So real quick, Jen, we're at the tail end of the segment now, and this is a little segment we like to call "Stick It to 'Em." As we know, there are 3 other teams in the division that you can't stand, and they love to can't stand you right back. That's the best part. We love rivalry. We love football. So you get your opportunity right now to go ahead and say what you will. Of course, don't get too crazy, but tell us how you think. You just told us how your Browns are going to do this year, or how you think they will. Let us know how those other 3 teams are going to do this year, at least what you think. And then, of course, sprinkle a little bit on top if you like, and let us know how you really feel about those teams. Without further ado, Jen, stick it to them.
Well, I'll start with the Bengals. I mean, I expect them to be contenders like they have been the last couple of years. It is what it is. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. So, it's kind of like almost like the Chiefs. So they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not worried about them against the Browns, but overall, they're going to probably have a decent record. The Ravens, I think it could, much like the Browns, I think it could go either way. Not sure. I mean, we had Todd Monken, and that did not go well here. So we'll see how it goes in Baltimore. But the Ravens always fight hard. If they stay healthy, they're going to be a competitor. I mean, I hate them. I will always hate them. They stole my team for 5 years. So I will always hate them. But, I mean, got to give props where props are due. The Steelers, I mean, you can't underestimate Mike Tomlin. So I expect them to be at or around 500 at the worst. But they're still rebuilding after losing Roethlisberger, so I'm not too concerned about them. I always get worried Steelers week just because of the history. There's so much history and animosity there, but I'm not overly concerned about them. And if TJ Watt gets hurt again, there's nothing to worry about.
Well, the applause button has been hit. Awesome stuff there, Jen. And I'll tell you, I love it. I love how much you can't stand those other teams, because that's what a rivalry is all about, right? It's about the hate. We love it. We love to do it. It's enjoyable. And I'll tell you, these 3 teams here, there's something brewing in every one of them, of course. You know, we got as you can see, the Steelers are trying to find their Big Ben replacement. Who will it be? What's going to happen? Is Pickett the answer? We take a look at the Ravens, and like I said, they have quite the team going on over there. Defense is as strong as I've seen it in years. Lamar is Lamar. I mean, there's a lot going on there. And then we're talking about those Bengals, and my goodness, well, they felt like they got a little slighted last year. You know, they felt they should have been the one hoisting that Lombardi. Well, the Lamar first and Lombardi. So we figure you guys get thrown in the mix. Once again, if Deshaun is Deshaun, this is gonna be quite the season for you guys. Let's see what happens and what what a lot of fun it's going to be to see. So, alrighty, well, that is that. Jen, go ahead and plug anything you'd like. Where can all these diehard Browns find you, of course, and anything else you'd like to share where anybody can find you up on that good old internet?
I am mainly on Twitter at BelieveLandGirl. I have Instagram also. It's also BelieveLandGirl. But I mostly post on Twitter.
You mean X? I'm just kidding.
Mine still has the bird, so
right?
It's still Twitter.
I know. I'm telling you, this whole thing is so stupid. I forever the bird. It's Twitter forever, right? So anyway, no, much appreciated. Thanks again for stopping by again, Jen. It's been a lot of fun, and well, we look forward to having you back on the show very soon. And like I said, hey, if everything works out, we might just see you a lot more here on IE Sports Radio coming on up in the very near future, especially just in time for the Browns season. So we shall see how that goes. So big ups to you. Thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate you. And thanks again for being on the show today. You have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you very soon.
All right, great. Thank you.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, y'all. That was Jen. Let's throw the applause one more time. She was awesome, right? Super cool guest. You got to love these diehards. You know, that's what it's all about. We enjoy what we do. We love what we do. And we love our teams. We live and die with them, right? I mean, so that's how it goes, and that is that. So, all right, you guys, we got 3 teams down now, all right? So we started off with the Steelers, jumped on into the Ravens, just finished up with the Browns, and coming on up, we got the defending AFC North champions, the Cincinnati Bengals, with our very own Christopher Lehman here of IE Sports Radio, one of the hosts of The Extra Mile here on IE Sports Radio. He is excited and ready to go, and I'll tell you, he is ready to rep his Bengals. Once again, y'all, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC, the conclusion of AFC week with the AFC North. With me, your boy Larry B, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. When we come back, we're talking Bengals after this.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo sports with a twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are in the conclusion of AFC week. Oh my goodness. We have gotten through every single team but one team throughout the entire AFC. We started off the week with the AFC West, went into the AFC East, jumped on into the AFC South, and we are 3 teams through the AFC North. And, well, who remains? The team that went so far last year. And I guess you can say they went so close, yet so far. The team that got to the AFC Championship and fell 3 points short of getting back to the bowl. We are talking no other than the Cincinnati Bengals. And to do that, well, we have another very special guest here today to talk about those Cincinnati Bengals. He is, I guess you could say, 1/3 of our racing show here on IE Sports Radio, All Auto Sports. He is a huge Max Verstappen fan, lover of Formula One, IndyCar, NASCAR, and we're trying to get him into some NHRA. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to have him here today to talk about his Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, the one, the only, Mr. Chris Lehman. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Larry, and I don't know what on earth could have made you think that I was a Max Verstappen fan. I don't know if it's the 4 foot by 6 foot flag behind me. I guess I'm giving out subtle hints, right?
I guess so, man. I mean, but I'll tell you right now, he's dominating, and, well, somebody that's very closely, I guess you could say, another sports team that's dominating pretty good nowadays is your Cincinnati Bengals. And man, honestly, last year was just a beautiful sight to see these guys. I haven't seen them competitive since I was in high school a million years ago, back in like 07, 06, 05. And that's when I had Ocho Cinco. That's when Palmer was there. And, we haven't seen them be decent.
05 was the injury.
That was the injury. Okay, so then that's right.
So
that's right.
05 was really kind of where we were, like, at our peak.
Yeah, and then
we had a little bit of hope with the Dalton years. He was good in the regular season, and then once it came playoff times, he forgot how to play quarterback.
I'll tell you.
But now we got the chosen one,
and he is a damn good quarterback. I'll tell you right now. I'm an SC guy, so you better believe I was cheering on Palmer wearing that Bengals uniform. And, yeah, Dalton, I mean, we loved him at TCU. I thought he was pretty good, and then nothing happened. But, yeah, now you guys got Joe. All right, now you got a dude behind center that shows so much promise. He showed the world in the last couple of years how damn good he was. Chase, everyone, including myself, we all said it. Wow, they're really stupid for not taking Panay. Well, I guess we were all really stupid because he just showed how amazing he is through and through on that field last year. And with his quarterback throwing to him from LSU, I mean, it's just a storybook thing, man. And honestly, it's what they did at LSU, they are trying to duplicate in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and I mean, they were so close to it working 2 seasons ago in LA, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's just I remember in the IESR group chat, you guys were like roasting me the night that they picked Jamar Chase. You guys were all like it was almost unbearable. But I was like, you know what? I thought that at first too, and then after I was in my Bengals group chat with about 700 other Bengals fans, I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm not even worried anymore, right? And you guys were like, yeah, you guys are gonna say that, right? You guys were still ragging on me, and then even all through that Super Bowl run, every time I was in a head-to-head with somebody, they were always just like, remember that time you guys passed on Penei Sewell, and I was like, not worried about it, man. I'm not worried about it. Now I'm just worried about paying Jamar. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, give the man his money because he is well worth it. Well, once again, we can say what we want to, right, Chris? But at the end of the day, you guys got a 14-5 overall record, a run to the AFC Championship, and a 4-3, which goes to show you how damn tough the AFC North is no matter what. Oh, those rivalries make me so happy. I love it. But you guys had the last laugh. You looked great. Let's talk about that real quick, man. So last year's run, just a special year. The very first game of the season, losing 23-20 in overtime. You lost to the Cowboys, and after that, you went on a 2-win streak there, lost another one to Baltimore, because it would happen to be those those divisional rivals, right? Then you went on a nice little tear again, 2 games. Who'd you lose to? The Browns, another AFC North rival, but you're terrorizing everybody else. You go on a, my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game win streak all the way up until that really crazy night in Buffalo. Thankfully, everyone's okay, Cameron's okay, but it's just crazy how this whole thing goes. You guys continue that streak because that game was canceled. 8 games, you go on in and just make it happen, man. You guys made it happen and got into the playoffs, defeating Baltimore. You defeated the Baltimore team that was such a close game. Then you go on in and you take out Buffalo. You showed everybody, hey, we were supposed to win that game, and we did. And then the Chiefs happened. So, Chris, walk us through that season, man. Talk about the emotions, everything you got in that season, man, including the ride in the playoffs. Tell us all about it.
Well, I tell you what, starting 0-2 really sucks. That really sucks. And then you make your way to 2-2, and you're like, okay, we're doing all right, right? And then 2-3, and you're just like, this is going to be a long season, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, and then you end up 4-4, and then you just win out the next 9 games to close the season. So, right around, I tell you what, in the group chat that I'm in with the Bengals fans, and there's the main one that I'm in, there's about 60-70 of us. And last season, it was when we beat Kansas City in December. That's when it was like, okay, we made it over the hump. The rest of the season is salvageable. We're going to be able to. That's kind of when we knew we were going to the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Was right when we beat Kansas City. And I mean, we went 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes in 2022. In the year of 2022, 3-0, which is freaking crazy. But then we went to the playoffs, and Buffalo was a nail biter. I mean, that was such a classic game. You had that heavy snowfall coming down. You had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs getting into it on the sidelines, and just whatever happened, Cincinnati came in, and maybe it's because they don't have a practice bubble. They practice in the snow, but they came in there and they were just prepared for that weather in a way that Buffalo was just shockingly caught off guard. And it was, I tell you, it's a much better game than the score reflects. 27-10, that was not a 27-10 game. That was a 27-24 game, in my opinion. And then Kansas City, I mean, we were 3-0 against them. Joe Burrow's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. I said going into it, everybody in the Bengals group chat was like, oh, we got this, we got this, we got this. I said 3-0, that's a hell of a record. You don't stay undefeated forever. They're going to have our numbers sometime. And it's going to be in the game that counts, right? And we lost in at Arrowhead, and part of it I think was someone stupidly calling it Burrowhead Stadium, which I hate trash talk. I really hate trash talk, and somebody gave them that bulletin board material, and then the mayor of Cincinnati doing that stupid video like the day before. It was just, at that point I knew we were poised to lose. The day before I knew we were done. We were packing up and going home. So, and it worked out that way, but it was a hell of a close game. Last year we won it by 3. What I should say is 2 years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, we won it by 3. They won it by 3 this time. I mean, it's that buzzer beater kick, that game ending field goal. And a lot of the times we're on the lucky end of it, and it comes back around. It's a 50-50 shot, and so yeah, it was a great season though. I loved every minute, and I wouldn't trade any of it for anything.
It was a magical season, and honestly, man, it just goes to show you how well this team was prepared and how far they're going to push themselves this year. It's just the ugliest feeling when you get that far and you lose. You get a pit in your stomach, and I remember that Dick's Sporting Good commercial. It just gives me chills till this day. It was back when I was in high school, where it says it's a locker room with a bunch of guys who just lost in a major game, and it says that the narrator of the commercial was like, "It's that feeling. It's ugly. There's a pit in your stomach, but what do you do with that pit? You fill it with fire. You come out the next year even tougher, even whatever, and then it ends. Every season starts with dicks. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But it shows all the training and everything in the off season and everything, much.
Yeah.
And honestly, man, I can see that with the Bengals this year. It's like that's an ugly feeling, and these guys, they don't know. There's something special going on in Cincinnati, and these guys, I mean, my gosh, if there was something so special going on in Cincinnati, it rubbed off to the Bearcats, okay? They were even pretty damn good a couple of years ago. I'm just saying, there's something special going on over there, man. So this is a good football team right now, and you guys have many, many, many reasons to be smiling.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I know, we'll get into a different segment of the show where we kind of talk about the roster transactions from the past year. So I got a lot to not a lot, but that's a good segue maybe into that.
Well, we're exactly. That's right where we're going, to the offseason, man. So this offseason, you guys have some. That's a good. See, you've been on this show before once or twice, I think, Chris. So you know, man, you're moving it. I love it.
Yep.
So look, man, Mixon, sweet, he's staying. I mean, we got some acquisitions, some departures. Looks like Von Bell is headed to the Panthers. Hayden Hurst headed to the Panthers.
When Von Bell that hurt the most. In the last 2 or 3 years of free agency, Von Bell hurt the most.
It did, and honestly, hey, you take the cake from here, man. You talk about all the transactions, because that one, if you want to stay there, that one sucked.
Well, he had that really famous hit on Juju in Pittsburgh. Juju was doing his TikTok thing. He danced on the 50-yard line at Paul Brown Stadium, and Von Bell took that personally. Next time they met in Pittsburgh, Juju catches and just immediately gets dropped by Von Bell. Fumble, takes it right back to the house. That is like folklore in the Bengals fandom. That play and that right there made a Bengals legend. That one play. But that's what rivalries do, right? You get one player that makes one great team or one great play in a deep rivalry game, and that guy becomes legend. And it's something we talk about in college football all the time, right? You've got these heroes get remembered, legends never die. We're kicking it back to Sandlot, but it's just true, man. You do something like that and you are remembered forever.
And he will for sure be remembered forever. Unfortunately, though, he'll be doing his next competing in a Panthers uniform. I'll tell you right now, our guy John Felipe over on the Carolina cast, he's a happy camper right now. I know he is, because he's going to be.
I would be too.
but yeah, I'll tell you. You've had some big departures, though. Like I said, some big pickups, by the way. I mean, Terrell Basham coming on over to you guys. I mean, there's been some good pickups, but what do you think, man? Who are your biggest? I think you already went through your biggest departure I'm positive that was it. But your
That
biggest
was.
pickups, what do you think? Who do you like the most?
Look no further than Orlando Brown out of Kansas City.
Beast.
You know, it's not only making our line significantly better, but it's making our biggest rivals line significantly worse, particularly on the blind side. You take that left tackle away from Patrick Mahomes, and I mean, we throw stupid money at him. We gave him the biggest signing bonus ever for an offensive lineman, $31 million. But I tell you what, he's protecting Joe now. And so something like that, you know, these games, we like to think that it's won by the wideout, especially when you're talking Kansas City and Buffalo and Cincinnati. You're thinking the quarterbacks and the wideouts are winning this game, but you know, Larry, who's standing right in front of the quarterback, making sure that he has the time to get to the wideout.
Those trenches mean everything.
Even in games where the wideouts, the running backs, the quarterbacks are the superstars, it's the unspoken guys in front of them that make it all happen. And then, you know, we obviously lost a lot in the secondary. We lost both of our starting safeties. We lost Trey Flowers, who was a good situational guy in the defensive backfield. You know, he wasn't a starter by any means, but he was good third down and you know, some nickel and stuff like that. But so we grabbed Nick Scott, safety from the Rams, on a 3-year deal. We grabbed Sidney Jones, actually from the Raiders. And you know, he's not bad. He's going to come in and he's just more depth. But you know, and then we grabbed Irv Smith Jr., who's a tight end from Dallas, and because we lost Hayden Hurst, who was our starting tight end, and then we this was very controversial. We didn't take what was the kid out of Michigan, the tight end there, started with an M.
Oh my gosh, brain fart. I've gotten so much football in my head recently, man. I'm just losing stuff, actually. But
who the heck? Michael Mayer or something, right?
Yes,
was it Michael Mayer?
Yeah.
So that was a huge, like, when our pick came up, I remember like watching, and we had like 5 guys that everybody was like, oh, we are for sure going this direction, right? And everybody thought that it was going to be Michael Mayer, because he was like the greatest. You know, his comp, I think, was Gronk. I think was who his comp was. And how do you not get excited about the potential of drafting the next Gronk, right? But actually, I'm holding out hope for Brock Bowers out of Georgia, because that dude's a freaking beast as a tight end.
You guys haven't had a Jermaine Gresham? Was that
your
guys' last really good
pick? Yeah, like tight end we picked. That was like, I think he was a late first rounder. Yeah, mid to late first rounder.
I'm dating myself now, man. But hey, he really was a hell of a tight end. So
he had some injury issues, and that's really all he had, though. And that happens. You know, you can't predict that. He would have had a really great career if he could have stayed on the field. But you know, just looking at our draft, we got Miles Murphy, edge out of Clemson. He's a diamond in the rough, but I mean, they grabbed him for his potential. I mean, the guy ran a 40 faster than most wideouts do. You know, we definitely did some work in the back end with DJ Turner out of Michigan, Jordan Battle, safety out of Alabama, which I thought was a really good bargain in the 3rd round. Jordan Battle was, you know, and then just, you know, you obviously need your wide receivers and running backs. You just need a plethora of them.
Yes.
And then punting has been a huge issue for us the last couple of years. And so we grabbed Brad Robbins out of Michigan. That guy's got a leg on him. And so hopefully that punter is the one guy you never want to see on the field anyway. But if you have to see him, you want a good one.
No, 100%. And I love it. Once again, you already transitioned, and I love it. We're already in the draft, which is great. But yeah, man, Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. What another freakish monster. I love it. DJ Turner, a dude who I feel is going to make impacts for you guys for sure at Michigan at corner. I mean, you guys did make some, you know, as you mentioned right now, Battle. I feel like this guy he's a 3rd rounder, but I feel like he slipped. Like, seriously, he's going to really, you guys got some good picks, man, this year.
Yeah, I think Jordan Battle was a real good pickup in the third. I mean, as you know, I'm a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. So for me, Philadelphia won the draft because they basically draft our entire defense.
They sure did. They sure
But
did. I don't want you to guys. I don't know, man. I don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The Bengals. Oh my gosh, the Bengals and Bills this year in the Chiefs too. Those are three teams that I'm like staring at, like, oh my gosh, this could be it. But then, and forgive me, Chris, but I look at the Eagles and I'm like, oh. It's like you see a bunch of big dudes that are like, yeah, we're yoked, and then you see a big dude that's like 8'7" walk in, you're like, oh, I'm
hello,
just
sir.
saying. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're lifting with all these giant dudes, and this other dude comes in, looks like freaking Optimus Prime. Like, I'm just saying.
This guy, yeah, they had to renovate all the doorways this offseason to accommodate him. That guy walks in and everyone just kind of turns their head and watches him,
Yeah, that's Philly right now, man.
Yeah, and Georgia. I mean, not to get too off topic, but they have some monsters that go there, and the Eagles, they are more successfully doing what we tried to do with the 2019 LSU team. They are literally just grabbing Georgia player. Yep, Georgia player. Oh, yep. Well, let's grab him. They even. Or no, Stetson Bennett went to the Rams. Actually, I was gonna say I thought they grabbed Stetson Bennett for a second, but it's just, and I know I'm not segueing us further, but I know we're going to get into the talk some trash about your division.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming fast.
I know. Oh, I know.
It's coming.
But I just don't. It's nothing against the division, but like I think it's pretty universally known that it's kind of Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, AFC, and everyone else is just. It's like Formula One, right? Max is going to win the race, and everybody else is just racing for second through fifth.
That's pretty much
that's how the AFC is, right? Everybody knows two of those teams are going to be in the AFC championships, and the other guys just want to make it as deep as they can.
It would come from one of our auto sports guys, and I love this because it is so true. This is no knock on everybody else, but you are so correct. Yes. It feels like, and trust me, Ferrari's anything but competitive right now. But this is kind of like if Ferrari would get their crap together and it would go back to Red Bull, the silver arrows of Mercedes and Ferrari. It's that three-horse race.
I don't know if you saw it, but actually Lewis got pole this morning. He beat Max by 2 1,000ths of a second.
Oh, that's cool. We're gonna have a little bit of fluctuation. Max already won, 47 races. We've only had 12 races. He's won 47 of them already. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's like, I've just been, and this isn't betting advice for anybody, but I've just been throwing money on him to win all season, and I've won 9 times.
Oh my god!
9 out of 11 times he's won the race.
Yeah,
so. I mean, the odds aren't great, obviously. I mean, you're like minus 500 for everything, but it's almost guaranteed.
That's pretty crazy. Well, just to let you guys know, of course, this interview recorded on Saturday, so everyone's going to be like, wait a minute, this morning. Of course, this show is being aired on Thursday, July 27th. But yes, that's really crazy. But okay, so real quick, Chris, I know we're getting towards the end here, so this season, man, you guys have a lot to look forward to, all right? It's a crazy looking year. We have an extra game now on the schedule. It's kind of growing on me now. I didn't like it at first, but it's kind of growing on me. But yeah, you guys, of course, that good old AFC North is just a fun division. I mean, what do? You just embrace it, right? It's awesome. Well, it looks like you guys have, if I'm not mistaken, the NFC West, if I'm not mistaken. I see all those teams in there in your schedule. And on top of that, it looks like you guys have the AFC South?
Oh, South, yeah.
Oh, boy.
I see Jacksonville.
Oh, boy. All righty. Well, and a couple outliers in there. What do you think? Give us a little something right now. I mean, what are your expectations? You already said it, and I can say the same thing, man. You guys are going to be somewhere near and around a championship, in my opinion. But what are your personal expectations this year? Is it Super Bowl or bust? Are you there? Or are you, no, we're going to be Super Bowl for a couple of years? We're going to be... Where are you thinking right now with these Bengals?
So... I can tell you there are 3 games that I have circled on my calendar as these are scary, right? And if you're looking at the schedule, you can probably pick them out too. We're looking at October 29th in San Francisco. San Francisco's a great team. And, Philadelphia is just a touch better, but really with that NFC championship, any team could have went to the Super Bowl and it would have been justified. I mean, the Niners are just great. The following week, Buffalo's coming back to our house for a Sunday night matchup, which is purely for the ratings, right? They're bringing Buffalo back into our house in a primetime night game. It's purely to sell tickets and viewership. It's kind of an abomination, if you ask me. It's a shame that we're using what happened last year as marketing, but I hope I'm not the only one that sees through that for what it is. I know certainly everybody in the Bengals group chat called it out immediately. And then, no surprise, December 31st, we're playing Kansas City, in Kansas City. So we're going back to Arrowhead. So other than, those 3 games are the big scary ones for me. Everything else is largely winnable. But I mean, you know how AFC North football is. We're going to drop a couple of them. It just is what it is. Probably, if I had to guess, it'll be 1 Cleveland, 1 Baltimore. I think particularly when you're away, the division games away are tough games. So those seem to be probably the most likely. If I had to put a number on, I'd say 14-5 is probably a pretty realistic number again for next year. I think that's you're definitely making the playoffs, but you're not being unrealistic in saying 17-0, right? Because that's ridiculous. But 14-5 feels good. I like that number.
I think you hit it on the head. You're going to get some knocks. Things are going to happen. One day, someone's going to fill up with an upset stomach. One day, someone's going to pull something, unfortunately, and they're going to have to play through an injury. One day, someone's hand's going to hurt. One day, it's going to happen. It's freaking football. But you're absolutely right. The tough ones are the ones who just fight through it, and win or loss, we're here for the next game, gosh damn it. And I feel like that was the Bengals last year, man. So I think that's a great, great record. And, well, Chris, I'll tell you, man, this has been fun. We've done an episode of The Extra Mile together. I just love it, man. Having you on air is a lot of fun. We'll definitely enjoy it, and you always do a hell of a job. So, with that said, there are your expectations. We got through everything. We got through last season. We talked about the offseason with the free agency. We talked about the draft, your expectations for this year. Well, there's only one thing left to do, and this one's a lot of fun because, damn it, it's just, this is sports. I love it because you're not the big trash talker guy, but I do love your opinions in there. I love it. You're not this trash talker. You're somebody who's going to be like, well, this is how I'm feeling right now. And I love it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing it all week long. We're going to continue it on as we've been doing it for years now here on 3 and Out. And of course, this is the few moments that our guests have here. Okay, to talk a little smack on the rest of their division. And, today, well, we had some fun starting off, we started things off today with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We went on over to the Baltimore Ravens. We just finished talking about the Browns, and well, here we are with the Bengals. Each of those 3 fans had something to say about these Bengals, and well, Chris is about to sound off and tell you how he feels about all 3 of those teams. In any particular order you'd like to, sir. You have 2 minutes on the clock. Christopher Lehman, stick it to him.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear what other people say about the Bengals because it's always intriguing. But I'll just start in order of how I think the division settles out at the end of the year. So I would hope that the other division rivals that did theirs assume that they're going to be at the top of the division next year. What the hell's the point of even being a fan if you're not at least that optimistic, right? So as long as we're second in all of those other people's, I'm good, right? Right. But so I think in my ranking, second in the division is going to be Baltimore. Lamar just got paid. and he did a phenomenal job. I didn't really have faith in him or the front office to pull it together, but he certainly just got paid, and I think in the short term that's going to be a good thing. In the long term, it's not. You tie down all that money. Look at Tom Brady had all of his success because he wasn't worried about making the most money. He wanted to spread it around, and that's exactly what everybody's saying about Joe Burrow. He's not chasing the biggest contract. He's making sure that his guys get paid and stay around. Third in the division, and so really Baltimore, I don't really have a ton of knocks. I mean, you guys are really good. And you guys always utilize the talent. You make the most of it. And I think that even though we're rivals, I think you guys are actually really good organization. So I don't really have anything to say. Browns be Browning, right? You guys, they always have the talent. They just can never seem to really make it work on the field. I mean, you guys have on paper one of the most stacked teams, and it's just a coaching carousel. I could spend the next 30 minutes talking about Deshaun Watson as a person. Not going to do that though. Yeah, you guys are going to be third, and that leaves Pittsburgh last. And really, Pittsburgh, they always find a way to make the most of their roster. And I think, I do think that from a coaching perspective, they are pretty elite when it comes down to it. They can take a group of nobodies and turn them into playoff contenders. So, but the reason I have them fourth is just Kenny Pickett. He's definitely the in the ranking, he's the fourth quarterback in the division, and he's just outgunned. I do have to say though, especially as a Georgia fanboy, George Pickens, who's their star wide receiver, he's going to have a monstrous career. And if he was with like a Joe Burrow, a Pat Mahomes, he'd be a top 5 wide receiver in the league. That kid is a big kid. He's got that dog in him. And I think he's just trapped on a team with an average quarterback. I don't think Pickett's going to be the long-term answer there. If he is, good for us and good for everybody else in the division, because it's like having Andy Dalton, in my opinion. That's probably what I'd comp him as. He's okay in the regular season. Probably get you playoffs a couple times, but I wouldn't really expect a deep run out of Pittsburgh as long as he's at the helm. So I hope I have like another 30, 40 seconds. Probably we don't, but
that's all right. You can continue, man. You're good.
Buffalo and Kansas City are definitely our biggest competition in the AFC, and they're going to be the biggest roadblocks between us and the Super Bowl. As long as Buffalo can keep having meltdowns on the sideline when we go up, particularly between Diggs and Josh Allen, works for me. Let's keep that baby mama drama up, because I think that's what it was about. I think it was something about baby mamas. And then Pat Mahomes, definitely the number 1 QB in the league. I'm a Joe Burrow fanboy, but Pat Mahomes, you are number 1. It's undisputed. Joe Burrow's number 2, undisputed. And I would actually put Jalen Hurts at 3 personally, but I'm really hoping that we go back to the Super Bowl. Obviously, great teams in the AFC North, great teams, Kansas City and Buffalo, and it's going to be fun to see who comes to these games more prepared and gets the win. But obviously, I hope it's Cincinnati. So,
and there you have it. Way to do it. You know what? That was good. And like I said, I don't even care. It's time limit. I don't care. It didn't matter, because that was great stuff. Lots of respect there. Lots of talent in how it is. As always, no matter how respectful or disrespectful they may be, all thoughts, comments, everything, of course, of the listeners, of course, of our guests are the guests, and Chris is not holding that back whatsoever. Great job, man. Heck of a job, and really, really great segment here today. You have officially ended off our week, man. AFC week has now come to a conclusion. We are through 16 teams, halfway through the NFL, and what a way to end it with a team who was starving absolutely starving for a freaking Super Bowl. And, well, just like they are, Bengals, they like to eat and they hunt. So I'm really excited for this team. I think there's a lot of great stuff coming for this team. And well, there it is. So, Chris, thanks again, man, for being on the show today. Please let everybody know where they can find you, all our social media plugs, whatever you like to say, man. Go ahead and let everybody know.
So, yeah, I'm pretty low-key on social media, pretty much Twitter. So I'm at Fiji Sims. And then for our show, so we do Daryl Kinsey Jr., Michael Ward, and myself, we do the Extra Mile Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And as Larry had said earlier, we do everything motorsports. We do the big three: NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar. Daryl loves his unlimited hydroplanes, so we talk boat racing. We talk NHRA. We talk Australian supercars. And we're certainly open to doing more. We do watch other motorsports. It's very hard to fit in a what would be not only like a time frame that we have the time to do, but people have the time frame to listen to. I mean, we could, the three of us, we could rattle on for 3-4 hours, but nobody's going to want to sit around and listen to that. So, our show Twitter is at Extra Mile IESR, is in IE Sports Radio. So you can find us there. That's primarily where we're doing it. And, when life isn't too busy, we're also on TikTok, which is it's at Extra Mile Pod, or it's podcast. It's kind of funky sometimes, but it's either pod or podcast, one of the two. So that's pretty much where you'll find me and our show.
There it is. Well, Chris, I'll tell you what, man, you do great stuff. The overflow of the content on TikTok has been awesome. You guys do an amazing job. And once again, man, just thanks again for everything. Thanks for being here today, and we certainly appreciate you. With that said, y'all, we're going to take ourselves one more break, and when we come back, we're going to get my final weigh-in. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to have the Bengals at first. I mean, I'm just saying. But, of course, duh. I'm just saying, But we have my final weigh-in on the division, and then we are out of here and on to next week for NFC Week. Once again, you're listening to the conclusion of AFC Week right here on 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, with me, your boy Larry B. Right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter, at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome to the 305, aka the Magic City, and this is Magic City Scoreboard. I'm your host, JB, and right here we're going to talk anything Miami. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami, and even high school football. So join me once a week right here on Magic City Scoreboard on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed to all that is sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff from our people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You are listening to the conclusion of AFC Week right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC Week overall, day number 4 throughout the whole series. My goodness, I can't believe it. We have officially put a stamp on the AFC. Let's just give ourselves a round of applause here. That was awesome. Lots and lots of interviews, lots and lots of time. But man, that was a lot of fun. Super excited for NFC Week next week. But man, AFC Week was great. Did not disappoint. And just big shout out to everybody who was on air this week. That was such a great week. And thank you to everybody who lent their voices and lent their time to talk about their teams. It was so much fun. And I just got to say, well done, everybody. So one more time, big applause, everybody. Man, starting out in the AFC West earlier this week. Big shout out and thank you to Broncos, of course, Broncos country, Mr. Aaron Young. With the Raiders, Cale Henderson. We had with the Los Angeles Chargers, Taron Rodriguez. And with the Kansas City Chiefs, Bishop. In the AFC East, we had our boy Mikey over with the New England Patriots, the Miami Dolphins, DC Kai, the New York Jets, Joey Jets, and the Buffalo Bills, Patty Backs. Heading on over to the AFC South, we had Indianapolis Colts with Josh Sr., the Houston Texans with Matthew Briggs, the Tennessee Titans with Maximus, and the Jacksonville Jaguars with Matthew Grieve. And then, of course, today, big shout out to all of our guests yet again, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had good old Ralph, man, super cool guy. So glad we had him on the show today. Hope you enjoyed that interview. But yeah, our boy, Mr. Ralph Calise. We had Mr. B. Mo Blocka with the Baltimore Ravens. We had Jess B., the newest addition to the IE Sports Radio family. Catch her on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, talking all those Cleveland sports on the show, the land of the show. Or sorry, the show of the land. We got so many shows here, y'all. It's crazy to keep track sometimes. And then, of course, big thank you to thank you to Jess B., of course, for covering those Dog Pound, those Browns, and then ruling the jungle at the very end here. Big ups and thank you to Mr. Christopher Lehman of The Extra Mile, our motorsports show here on IE Sports Radio, along with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Mr. Michael Ward. Catch them tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. A big shout out to Christopher Lehman covering the Bengals, and that was just a great week overall, y'all. So, alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and put a stamp on it. I'm going to give you my final weigh-in. As I said earlier, it's really no surprise. As much as I want, or as much as I think that the Ravens have a lot of promise, I think it's going to be a close little dogfight. It's going to come down to a game between those guys. I really feel like the Ravens are going to give everything they've got. And honestly, it is very, very likely that it comes down to a thriller in week 18. I want to say that the Ravens are able to keep it close the entire year with no injuries. I want to do the same exact thing with the Bengals, and we get that thriller at the end. But yeah, Taryn brings up in the chat room here. Unfortunately, earlier we all saw on Twitter, or X if you will, that the Bengals quarterback, Joe Burrow, man, he hit the ground, unfortunately. He had a leg injury. But from what I've been reading, been following this closely the last couple of hours, I think it's just a strain, thankfully, but hopefully he's okay. It's and Terrence is here. Hope Joe Burrow's injury isn't serious. Yeah, kind of crazy this happens during the show today, but thankfully he's seems like he's all right. And we will, of course, keep tabs on him and everything. But thoughts and prayers to you, Joe. It's kind of tough, It's a crazy game, guys. That's what it's all about. It's a crazy game, and things happen, unfortunately. And he was carried out in a cart earlier, so hopefully he's all right, and he, is okay, even if he has to take some time out of practice at the moment, and it kind of sucks, but he got to heal up, and I know that's what his team and everybody wants, so that's what you got to do, got to heal up. So hopefully he's all right, and it's just a strain, like Bishop says here. That's what it looks like, calf-related strain or calf strain. So we'll see. Regardless, though, at the moment, everyone's healthy, or for the most part, and it's going to be a tough division. Now, I already told you earlier, spoiler alert, I'm taking the Bengals, simply because I feel like this team they have it. They're a strong team. You heard me talking with Chris, and I feel like they're going to edge out the Ravens by a tiny little margin. Like I said, it could be down to a game. Bishop says earlier in the chat room that Baltimore could go 2-0 over them, or will. I think that's very likely. It's going to be one of these teams. Baltimore is certainly a strong team. They have everything they need now. It is just a matter of staying healthy and balling out the way that we know they could. So I feel like the Bengals will edge them out slightly. Then it'll be a close second place for the Ravens. Then I'm going to go with the Steelers. Oh, so crazy. And then I got to go on with the Browns. Now, why am I putting the Browns in the basement? Okay. It's very easy for me because, it's not easy, but here's my logic. Okay, Deshaun Watson, he's got to get himself back. He didn't play for a cool minute. This is his first year fullback. Can he Can he make it happen? Can he get out there and be this insane MVP type player? Of course he can. Anything can happen. We don't know the future, But I'll tell you, having him out there right now on that field, he's gaining. And he's going to get better. He's going to get better. He's going to get better. Regardless, I feel like right now the Browns are going to kind of be up and down. And they're probably going to have themselves a, middle of the road year, at least for Deshaun Watson's first year fully back. We talked about it earlier with Ralph, saying that the Steelers are much better than they were. He thinks they're going to be a little bit better than they were last year record-wise. I think they're going to be right around there or about the same. And right now, it's going to be just a dogfight between the Ravens and the Bengals. So, I guess, once again, I feel like the Bengals and the Ravens will both sweep the Steelers and the Browns, and that'll be the difference. It's just because I feel those two teams are better built right now. You got to look at the situation. Pickett, his second year, is he going to be the starter? How they're going to look. They have a good team, but will they have enough? And the same thing with the Browns. They got a solid core, but can they transition that? Can they transition that to the field right now? And when you have a team as good, look at how long. I mean, this is Watson's first year, like I said, and this is Pickett's second year. Look at Burrow in the Bengals. I mean, I get it. There's only a few years in with them as well, but those defenses I think are better built. I feel like right now they have more working with them. The Ravens could surprise everybody and just go off and destroy everyone. That's a total possibility. It is a total possibility that the Ravens could overtake if anything happens, especially injury-wise with the Bengals, which we hope to God that nothing happens. Unfortunately, injuries happen. It's a part of the game. But right now, I just got to say that it's going to be a slight margin, as I said. And yeah, as Terrence says here, the AFC North is probably the toughest to predict, and it is. We talked about it in the very beginning of the show today, for those of you who heard it. We know that in the West, it's probably going to be the Chiefs show. We know that with a somewhat close second, Chargers. We know that, of course, this is all just talk, and we don't know until it actually happens, but at least looking at it coming into the season, okay, from what we can think. We look at the East, and, it's probably going to be the Bills. I mean, they are my Super Bowl pick this year, as I said, and once again, could be wrong, but it's just going with my, that's just my pick, whatever. But I feel like they're going to do their thing in the AFC East, and, everybody else will be fighting for second, kind of the way that the Patriots used to do with everybody. In the South, that's somewhat of a toss-up, but I still kind of feel like the Jaguars are better built, and they may, it might be like this situation where they just edge out the Titans, but I guess, I'm gonna roll with the Jaguars, and I think they got this. This one is a crazy situation, because once again, we don't know what we're gonna get. We have no idea. If Watson comes out and balls, damn. If the Steelers turn it on, man, Pickett comes out into his next year and gets it going. We have, if that happens, okay? If the Ravens stay healthy, if the Bengals stay healthy and play like they did last year, and if the Steelers can turn it on, I'm just saying, this is just and I'm going to repeat myself a million times. So there's my order. It looks like Terrence agreeing with me in there. Yeah, and it's true. I like what Terrence says here. He says that I like that too. Pickett and Mitch aren't the QBs to ride on. Absolutely, Bishop. And it's a little turmoil between Orlando Brown Jr. and another player. Oh boy, well, there's a little, there's some things going down. It's this training camp. We're gonna, flare the tempers. It's gonna happen. It's a part of the game. Also, Bishop chimes in, says, if I have to be honest, I think the Broncos will be number 2 because Sean Payton, he has plays that haven't been seen in years. And yeah, it's all a toss up, you guys. All what we think, all how we do it. At the end of the day, what's gonna happen on the field, we will find out. So once again, Taryn chimes in with his predictions. Says number 1 Bengals, 2 Ravens, 3 Steelers, and 4 Browns. Yep, we're seeing eye to eye on this. And he says, but one injury could throw a wrench into things. That's always the way it goes, right? The Ravens aren't too far back from the Bengals. No, the Ravens could totally win this thing. Like I said, I'm just going to go with the safe pick. I feel like right now the Bengals have more going for them slightly. And, they have last year they're riding on, but the Ravens could easily make this happen. So that's my order as of right now. It's going to be a really fun year in the AFC North. Oh my gosh. This is going to be the division to watch. I could be completely wrong. We have no idea what's going to happen, how it's going to work, but I do know that this is going to be a really fun division. So, all right, there it is, you guys. Let's get to that voting poll, shall we? Let's see who did what and check it out, because I'm excited to see who you guys think won it all as well. And, let's roll on over to it. So, it looks like, thank you once again to everybody who voted. There's 6 minutes left in the voting poll, so we'll call it now. But thank you to everybody who voted. It is a close one. This is exactly how I think it'll end, too, like in the real season, all right, in the regular season. The Bengals, 39%, and the Ravens, 33% of you. Oh, my goodness, that is close. You guys are taking the Bengals with 39%, the Ravens with 33%. You are taking the Browns in third for 15%, and the Pittsburgh Steelers in fourth with 13%. So, okay, that's what everyone thinks. That's what, of course, those who you think is going to win, but going based off of the percentages, well, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, okay, there it is, you guys. Thank you to everybody who voted, and just a really, really fun week. So, I just had a ball. That was a lot of fun. And this coming week is going to be a lot of fun, too, with the NFC. My goodness, guys, we're 1 week away from football. This time next week, we're going to be hours, literally, 2 hours away from the Hall of Fame game with the what do you call it? Well, we were tripping out. We're going to be just 1 hour away or 2 hours away from the Hall of Fame game between the Jets and the Browns. Or about an hour and a half or so. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Or 2 hours. Yes, 2 hours. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really, really excited to see, just football back on the field. NFL football, that is. The XFL was fun. The USFL was fun. But this is the NFL, and we all love it. So with that said, you guys, we're going to go ahead and call it there. And you know what time it is. Let's cue the music, because we're up out of here. All right, you guys, that's going to do it. 16 interviews down and 16 to go. We are now at the halfway point of the NFL. Coming up next week, as y'all know, it's the NFC West on Monday. We're going Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Niners in that order. Then on Tuesday of next week, it's going to be the NFC East. We're going Giants, Commanders, Cowboys, and Eagles. After that, on Wednesday, we're going NFC South, Saints, Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then rolling on to the NFC North, we got the Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings. So those are the orders. That's how we're going to do it. And be ready, y'all. We're going to have plenty more coming on up, starting with that NFC West on Monday. Oh, it's going to be a fun show. And, we're going to see who thinks what. And it's all speculation, like I said, to the field. We're going to see how training camp is going for everybody. We're going to continue on into the Hall of Fame game. And we are going to check out that preseason, all through the preseason and into the regular season. Be ready, y'all. This year's show is completely revamped. Callers, live callers, recorded interviews, primetime face-offs are coming back. Oh, we're going all out this year on 3 and Out. We're going to have some fun, and I hope you're ready for it, you guys. So, alrighty, that is that, and that is, that's all she wrote. Big ups to everybody in the chat room today, man. Mr. Christopher Lehman, Mikey Two Guns, of course. He'll be live at Patriots Camp coming up tomorrow, so really happy for him. That's really cool. Taryn Rodriguez and our boy Bishop, man. Bishop says, I love this show. I wish I was around last season. Hey, man, you're here now, though, and that's all that matters, right? So glad you were here for the ride. Thank you, Taryn. Saying awesome show. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And that is going to do it. Oh, my goodness. Now I got 16 more interviews to record this weekend, and, there we go. So enjoy, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate you, brother. Give me a little flex arm. Hey, right back at you, brother. Flex. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you give us a follow at IE Sports Radio all over the place. X, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere you are. Make sure you follow me, your boy Larry. Be at the THEE_LB53 on Twitter. Show me some love on there. Follow the show at 3 and Out, all spelled out, 3 and Out, IESR. Check us out there. Check out IESportsRadio.com. Our shows are available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Spotify, everywhere you can think of. We're all over the place. Check us out. Follow us on social media. You'll find out. The website, IESportsRadio.com. Use summer code for our summer sale. Use our code IESR Summer Sale 23 for 10% off your merchandise, your IE Sports Radio merchandise. Hats, we got a sweatshirt left in there, I think, and a long sleeve t-shirts, all that fun stuff, Razorback, tank tops, all that fun stuff. Go check it out. We appreciate your support, y'all. That will do it. Big ups to y'all, and I'll see y'all next week for NFC Week. Take care, y'all, and as always, God bless.